It's Operation Babble with Myke Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
I'm dreaming of a diverse, multicultural, inclusive Christmas. That's the 2019 version, right? Well,
Don't
hello.
ruin my song, John.
I'm sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and hi, Myke.
Hello.
And hello, mysterious voice from across the world.
The past.
I don't know about that mysterious.
Okay, fair enough. We have a special gift for everyone. We have the returning wonderful persona of Isaac, the man, the myth, the legend, Mahoney.
Wow. With that introduction, I think you're saying the hope's too high.
Well, it's Christmas, so it's all about positivity and
there we go. I
inclusiveness,
appreciate
as I
it.
said.
Appreciate it. Pretty good.
Nice to have you back, sir.
Good to be back.
So, Michael, what are we doing?
So today we are. I was just gonna have you talk. I'm too cold in this.
Oh,
weather
in
here.
your 50-degree weather in the middle
In my
of December.
50-degree Christmas weather.
So just so our crazy fans can't come and stalk us from the bushes, what state are you in, Michael?
Florida. We've discussed that I live in Florida. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double check. So 50 degrees there. I'm in Minnesota, so I'm sitting on a solid 1 degree as of about 2 minutes ago. And Mahoney, I believe you are in the Rocky Mountain area.
Mm-hmm. I'm in Colorado, yeah.
And what are you sitting at right now?
30 right now. So
Okay. You see any
freezing,
snow
but barely.
yet? You see any snow yet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, it snows so much here. It's been snowing since October.
Oh, well, get wrecked. Yeah, we didn't get ours till mid-November, so at least I'm winning. At least I'm winning somewhere.
I miss snow. I miss snow
Yeah.
so much.
Snow much.
Snow much.
Okay, can I say something really stupid? And I think this is like the
I mean, don't you always? But
well, fair enough. The pseudo privilege that I have. I grew up on a lot of army bases. So a lot of people who don't know that, they're essentially like small town, potentially almost like they might as well be gated communities.
yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of times like lawn care and driveway care and all that stuff is actually taken care of by the base. Like they'll come and like plow and mow your lawn and stuff.
So you're sheltered, basically.
Pretty much. And it was funny because it's like my current girlfriend was renting a house a while back, and so I used to just always shovel or mow and help out around, because I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like character building. Like I always shovel my parents' like when I go home, I'll shovel my parents' driveway and stuff, because I'm like, oh, I want to be helpful, and like, oh, it's a good workout. And then all I could think is like, someday I'm gonna have a house and I'm gonna hate myself. I'm gonna do this every day. But
I actually enjoyed shoveling snow, though, because it kept me in shape during the wintertime.
it's what you see.
That's
Thank
the
you
one
for
thing.
almost reiterating what I said, and I
Yeah.
love it. I feel justified now.
Yeah.
I feel validated.
Like, we had a snowblower, but we weren't ever using it because we had, 20 fucking kids in the house, so it was just
make you all
grab
go.
a shovel and go.
Yep.
You'll be done in 5 minutes.
just kick it. Go build a snowman. Just use the snow in the driveway.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess obviously we're talking winter stuff. My stupid song at the beginning and all that. I think is
Baby,
setting
it's
the tone.
cold outside.
Oh, don't do that.
There you go.
That's a what is that? That's a no-go song now.
It's like
for
the Me
radio?
Too song now, I guess.
Yeah, fucking kill me.
Yeah.
They actually put out a version with Michael Bublé and Idina Menzel, Elsa from
Yeah.
Frozen. And they for the music video, they had like little kids doing it, and they changed up the words.
Okay.
Michael gave me, or Isaac gave me a face. I'm like, no. They changed up the they changed up the thing so it was like this cute, like little whimsical, flirty song, like, you know, oh, soda pop, or like I gotta go, you know, that kind of thing. And they're like in a hotel. It was actually cute. I
Little
like the
kids
version.
in a hotel.
Shut up.
I remember being a kid in the hotel too. My parents
Hey, I just
didn't like that.
Hey, and it happens. I just saw Home Alone 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Hanging
Donald
out with
Trump.
Trump.
Damn it,
Trump
you beat me
being
to it.
both sides.
You beat me to it. But I will still say I don't hate Baby It's Cold Outside. I hate pretty much every rendition of it though. If that makes sense. Because I am angry, and I will forever be angry at Will Ferrell and Zooey Deschanel for making the greatest version of that song and never recording a full version from the movie Elf.
Yeah.
I feel like that scene that they use in the movie, it's so good, and it's like because of like Buddy's like naivety that it makes it endearing, and they both sing it really well, surprisingly well. They didn't put out a full-length version for the soundtrack. Why would you not do that? I was so mad.
Because no one wants to listen to Will Ferrell sing for an entire
Dude,
song.
but sir, you are off base. I wanted that. I thought it worked really well because then they recorded a version with Zooey Deschanel and then dude with super deep, scary voice. I can't remember his name, but I don't like it.
Okay.
No me gusta. I was not a fan. I was angry. But speaking of Christmas songs,
okay, go ahead.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Go-to Christmas songs, anybody, or album even.
Well, I did that on the group. My album is the Frank Sinatra go-to Christmas album.
Really?
That's like the one I listen. I listen to those songs when it's not Christmas time sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because I buy it on iTunes, so it's like always around me.
It's good. It's really good.
Can I be the bad millennial and just say I'll just get the Michael Bublé version, which is essentially Frank Sinatra updated?
Nah, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same, but it's good.
They're both good.
I'm
yeah.
I'm surprised Seth MacFarlane hasn't done like his Christmas album like Sinatra.
Yeah.
Or maybe he has and I just haven't heard of it. I don't know. Cuz he does like all that stuff
I'm
randomly.
surprised he hasn't done a Christmas show. Like a live stage Christmas show.
Like a live musical show or something.
Yeah, cuz he tried to do that comedy one with what's her face who does Lois's voice on Family Guy, Alex or Borstein or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
That tanked, but I mean, the guy's got the live action stage show performance persona, and when he gets away from the like dick and fart jokes that people expect from him, the guy is really talented.
Yeah,
like,
Oh yeah.
that's why like I'm all about Orville. Like I really want to watch this, but everybody
But you
says
haven't
it's
watched
hard.
it yet.
But I watched so many scenes because everybody talks about it, and every
Yeah.
time I watch a scene, I'm like, God, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
And
It is
but then
good, yeah. I mean, it's like his take on the Star Trek show.
It's really good. Actually, a lot of Trekkies like that show more than Discovery. Which I mean, it's actually with what they deal, especially if you get in the second season of Orville. You know, it's like straight up TNG shit with a couple of adult jokes in there, but that's about it. The first
It's
season
like-
has more dick and fart jokes than the second.
See, it was funny because the way people explained it to me, it's like watching TNG, and you're watching Seth MacFarlane have a really good time doing his essential fan fiction.
Yeah.
And then it's like he wrote this really good script, or they're doing this really good scene, and like halfway through he goes, "Oh yeah, Fox expects me to put a joke here."
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
he
just
has
does
to
it.
like have so many jokes, I think, per episode for it to be considered spoof material and not like because he wanted to do his own Star Trek shit, but they wouldn't let him. But that's not Christmas.
Sorry, I tangented.
Remember, Gene Roddenberry's an atheist. That's not Christmas for him either.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll bring it back then. Mahoney, your album or song or artist.
I really like the stuff that Home Free does. Have you guys heard Home Free?
No.
They are an a cappella group. It's these 5 guys, and they were on, man, was it like The Voice or something? Not The Voice. It's like they were on one of those shows where
Like
the
America's Got
singers
Talent.
compete, but they competed as a group. You
Okay.
know?
Oh, okay.
And they won. It was a few years back.
Holy crap.
And it's really good. They do a lot of country stuff. Like that's kind of their home base is doing country covers a cappella. But their Christmas stuff is really good.
I'm a if people don't know, Isaac and I are super like choir nerds.
That's right.
We did some choir for quite some time.
Sing me something. Prove it. Sing me something.
I already started. God, what Isaac, you were what, baritone? If I remember correctly, or
Bass.
you were bass? Oh,
And
sorry. Sorry.
The low notes.
He got down in there. Hello, ladies.
We were opposite.
I was tenor 1. I was the guy who hit the high notes, and I don't think I
explains
can
a
get
lot.
up there anymore. Yeah, you're welcome. Had to do a lot of pinching in my pocket from time to time.
No
but,
joke. Once John was just like screwing around, like making stuff up, trying to find something that sounds good. And this conductor was like, yeah, that sounds too Britney Spears.
Yeah, I do remember that. I absolutely remember that. That was it was a solo for a song when we were about to go to New York. And I remember that. God, that was fun. One of the best trips of my life. I love acapella. I unabashedly love acapella stuff and like quartets and things like that. I think it's impressive.
And Christmas is great for that because a lot of the classic Christmas songs were written for harmony. They were written for big choirs and stuff. And so it's beautiful.
You're just asking for it. And
Well, I mean, don't say that after we just talked about like, it's cold outside. So
my bad. Dial it back. Okay. So
what was your album though?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you didn't say.
Oh, okay, and this is dead serious. Don't get me wrong. I'll listen to all that stuff, and I do a mix mash. I'll listen to just about anything.
I bet you it's a CD I have.
I am not kidding. My favorite Christmas album, which I'm like, I will listen to every single song on it, the NSYNC Christmas album. 100.
Dude.
I got that
I
shit.
swear to God. I swear to God. 100%. This is no bullshit. I love that album. It's a mix of everything. It's pop. It's got classic songs. They got a couple of their own.
Yeah.
And they were. I honestly believe that they were underrated, even though they had, they were the big flash mob,
right.
one of the group. I think they are underrated.
See, that one came out. Didn't that come out before Mariah Carey redid the one song?
All I Want for Christmas?
Yeah.
No, God.
That came out afterwards?
Mariah Carey
Okay.
did that like forever ago. It's
Okay.
like, if
Oh,
I
no,
remember
that was
correctly-
like 93 or 94 that she did that, huh?
Yeah, the Mariah Carey's. I just saw this the other day. Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" is like one of the top like 12 best
still the
singles
top.
ever.
It's
ever
still the
sold.
top. It's because it was
insane.
like the first time that you really got a twist on those old classics. So
and not only that, you had Mariah Carey's star power.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, dude, I was telling Hannah, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if most of the top songs ever sold are probably Michael Jackson, Beatles, and something festive, like something that you come back to every year.
Right.
So like a Christmas song or like a.
I'll tell you this.
I don't know,
I don't
July.
remember listening to her song that often for it being as like popular as it is.
I think it's just
I mean-
because you hear it in stores and shit. You just know it.
Probably.
Or in movies. It's always in movies. But yeah, nope. NSYNC Christmas album, 100%. I say just buy it, download it. It's amazing. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Done.
Well,
done.
we know what Mariah Carey doesn't want for Christmas.
Nah, Nick Cannon
Nick
fighting with
Cannon.
Eminem. But I thought a little music talk would be nice because it 'tis the season and whatnots. But
Did you say tism the season?
No, I said tis this season.
You just
the
say
season.
tism so often. I'm used to it.
It's fancy for it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry, dude. That's EFAP. It's their fault. I can't help it.
Oh, so now you're blaming your shit on someone else. So yeah,
My fan
that's how it
base, yeah.
starts.
That's what you do. Parry and deflect. That's what you do.
I'm blaming me being fat because of Kevin Smith used to be fat.
Nailed it.
There we go. Since you're
Seems fair.
blaming,
Dude. I will go. I will say, why are all talented directors fat white dudes with beards? Easy. That's why I get fat. So I'm a fat white dude, and people will hire me because
you're bald. They all have hair.
But see, I can change that with a simple hat. I can
That
trick.
is true.
So there you go.
Put a
but
wig on underneath it at least. Attach a wig to it.
No, fat people sweat. Wigs are awful. So let's get to the core of what we usually do here. Christmas movies.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
and
could have
it's-
led into that with the fat guy thing about Santa
Oh.
Claus and
Oh,
a beard.
right.
And, oh my God, John, you missed
awesome.
out.
Well, you could have done it too, Mr. Sagoo.
You're just like blah, the stop talking about the fatness. Also,
You know
just
who
for your
is a
defense.
director?
Oh, go on.
You know who is a director who is bald and rocks a hat? Is Ron Howard.
Yeah.
And he's also ginger, which is very red. You know who else is fat and red? Santa Claus.
Boom.
I don't know how I feel about it, but I'll give it to you.
There you go. Also, John, for your defense, Kevin Smith is balding, and you just shave yours all the way off, so you don't have to
Yeah.
deal with the spot.
It's look. There's a certain point when you look in the mirror and you go, "My masculinity was so strong that my hair had depleted." There's a point where I just need to give up the fight.
Yeah.
Move south.
Speaking of fat gingers in Hollywood,
What?
Speaking of fat gingers in Hollywood, where are they all?
mean.
Where are
feel
they?
like- oh.
Where are all the gingers going?
was just
Eventually,
gonna
they're
say
going to turn
gingers-
Santa Claus something completely different in every movie.
Shut up. That talk is already happening. Let's not
Is
go
it?
there.
Oh no.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. He's a fictional being. Well,
No,
he's
it does
technically
matter.
Based
Shut
on
up.
a real. He's
Calm
based on
down.
a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say
So-
that was a hot take, Michael. Me and Isaac were both about to jump on that.
I mean, Santa Claus is better than Space Wizard, so shut up.
It's the number one thing to do. Deflect. See, deflect to Star Wars.
It's so easy to rip on now. All right, go on.
So I figure the thing to do is we'll do the just random thing that all podcast internet people do, and we're gonna talk our favorite go-to Christmas movies, like the ones we have to watch every year. Maybe
Okay.
with some honorable mentions,
But
but
before we do that,
yes,
let's talk about something that you should not watch.
here we go. This I'm actually curious about.
All right. And
5 minutes of slashery.
On Christmas?
on Christmas, there's a 5 minutes of slashery segment. Oh my gosh. Okay, John, guess what I saw? You know what I saw because I've been
I already
complaining
know what you
about it.
saw. I'm not guessing.
I saw-
Isaac, guess.
Yeah, guess.
Black Christmas.
Black Christmas. I was told not to actually watch this. I was told not to give it time
Yep.
from people on Twitter. And I was like, okay, I'm not, but I have A-list pass for AMC, so I was like, I have nothing to do for this next like hour and a half, so I went and saw it. Because I was already there seeing Jumanji, which that's for another cast. But yeah, this movie is a reboot of a reboot because they had a Black Christmas movie back in the 70s in 1974, I think. And then I saw that one. It was actually pretty good. Then they remanufactured into something else in 2006, I want to say, or 2003 to 2006, sometime like that. I didn't look this shit up because I don't really care.
Fair enough.
That one I did not see, but I heard there was like some weird like brother sister stuff. I don't know. Like Game of Thrones brother sisters.
As you
Yeah.
get
Can't imagine why you skipped that one. You know, like why?
But so this one came out, and it takes place with sororities again, and it's again it takes place with the sorority. They're on a college campus through Christmas break because apparently 100 freaking students stay on college campus during college break. I don't understand that, but okay. Deans are there, security's there, whatever. This movie is horrible. Let's get away from all the crap that the internet talks about right now with the SJW, woke, all that bullshit. I don't care about that. I actually like that aspect of it because they kind of did it so like out in your face. It was like kind of like a hyperbolic statement on it, which kind of made
almost
it
like
fun.
a parody.
Yeah, it kind of made it fun in that way. But everyone else is like, it's so woke. Oh, it's going to go broke. Well, it's going to go broke because it's a horror movie around Christmas. No one gives a crap.
Michael, before you saw this movie, would you perhaps say you were dreaming of a black Christmas?
No.
No? Okay. All right, fine. I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, I've never thought of that. Like, is that where the name came from? Is
I have no
No.
idea. No.
Racist.
No.
like the Beatles
Dude, I
did the
actually,
White
I think
album,
this is the
Oh.
one
Metallica
movie.
did the Black
Oh, yeah.
album, so it's like,
Yeah.
It's written
you
by
know,
Jay-Z.
White and Black Christmas. Yeah.
I think this is the first movie, too, that didn't say the title of the movie in the movie.
Boo!
Which is weird.
That's when I buy the ticket.
Right?
I want to hear the title.
As
in the
soon as I
movie.
hear them say the title of a movie, I'm like, oh, cool. They did it. They got it in there.
Oh, Spider-Man, you're in Europe. You must be far from home.
Okay. Anyways, the movie is just
We're in the
bad.
end
It's
game.
bad. It's poorly structured, put together, and everything. We're in the end game now.
No.
So yeah, it's just not worth going to see. Again, besides all the woke stuff, like, and I don't really care about that. It was
Yeah.
actually a cool premise the way they did it, but they rushed it so much. They dealt more with the feminism and wokeness than they did with the actual main point of the movie. So you didn't understand why certain things were happening. They didn't flesh enough crap out that they could have.
It felt like for my biggest complaint is what I've heard is that you just got marketed, you got tricked. Like you got marketed a movie
totally,
that it
because the trailer for this, I thought this was going to be a badass Christmas slasher film. This
Well,
is
I was-
not
it-
a badass.
yeah.
This is not
Yeah,
really
the-
even a slasher film. It's not. It's
when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's like Happy Death Day or whatever.
yeah,
but
yeah.
for
That's
Christmas.
kind of what
Like,
it felt like through the trailer. Dude, they had a bow and arrow. This
Arrowverse
slasher
confirmed.
movie. It's
Arrow
just-
first confirmed.
It's like, okay, it's cool because when you first like see it, it's just like an arrow comes out of nowhere and it hits something, so you get that initial jump. But then when you see the killer with a bow and arrow in his hand, you're like, what is going on with this movie? And they don't even explain why the guy has a bow and arrow ever. It's like, Jason, he has a machete because he takes it from somebody, It's like all these other things.
Oh, the killer had a bow and arrow?
Yes, the killer.
Oh, I thought the girls started to arm themselves with stuff and they just happened to have a bow. and
No,
arrow.
they get the bow and arrow from him and arm themselves with it. The bow and arrow is prominent through like the final act of the movie, dude.
Oh.
I'm just like, I was kind of
Okay.
sad too because I was like, I'm seeing more arrow here than I did in Crisis, but okay. But
That's sad.
that's it. I mean, my biggest complaint is really the script needed tightened up. They tried to put too much stuff into this movie that honestly, this movie should have been for Netflix
Pretty much you were
or
looking
any
for
streaming service,
You were looking for campy slasher, let's
Yeah.
chase down pretty girls in a sorority, but that's just not what you got.
Right. And it
Fair
wasn't
enough.
like your generic like pretty girls either, because they were, because nowadays everyone, it has to be bigger girls and all these other things, and of course they kill a geeky girl, and I'm just like, what? The geeky girl's supposed to live in the horror movie. Come on.
That's right.
No, because reading
right.
books is for nerds.
Right? But yeah,
Knowledge is not power.
Don't waste the money seeing that in theaters. I didn't. So.
I like it. I all right. I gotta
But-
take your word for it, but I appreciate you.
Was the killer at least like on the archery team or something? Like,
They
was
don't
it any-
explain why they have the bow ever.
No.
It's like, and they don't unmask that person, so it ends up being like a shitload of killers.
What?
And they're like under the spoilers for Black Christmas. How
Yeah,
about that?
fine, who cares?
Because I don't
Go
think
for
you
it.
guys
Who
are gonna
cares?
watch it.
No.
It ends up
No.
being like, okay, so there's one girl gets this statue of like the guy who started the college taken off because he like owned slaves and stuff like that, right? Okay, so that statue ends up in the fraternity where those guys end up finding out that statue, and this is all like said aloud, like it's in all
exposition.
up the ass for the last 20 minutes of the movie. And like he's saying it, and he's like, the boys found out that this thing, because it has black goo that comes out of it apparently for some reason now, because it was taken out of his glass case and shit. So they have it in their frat house. Black goo comes out. The black goo, if you put it on them, it like controls them, mind controls the people, gives them super strength or something.
I'm so out right now.
Right?
There is so much going on, Michael.
And then
This sounds like a
that's like
superhero
all the
movie.
exposition they really give is like, oh, men are the stronger race and women are the lower race, and we need to and there's one girl that like helps them, so she's okay, she's allowed to stay alive, and they're like we're gonna kill every girl that doesn't
by the
like
way-
bow down to us, basically.
But by the way, male and female are not races. Just gonna throw
Did I
that
say
out there.
racist?
Right.
Also, you're telling me that a toxic goo infected men?
Yeah.
Toxic
I
masculinity confirmed.
Yes. Also, they were saying that the guy, the head of the school, he dove into like
dean.
black arts and shit like that. No, not the
course
dean. The
he
guy
did.
who created the school. Who
Okay.
the bust is of it for the statue. And it's like, so then all these guys are bad. They're killing people and stuff. And they're all frat boys, so whatever. But it seems like only some of them are like mind controlled and others aren't. So it's weird. And then like at the end of the movie, like her boyfriend or this guy that she likes, like the main girl. Of course, he's the only black guy in the movie too. He gets like the thing put on to him and is like mind controlled. But then like she breaks the thing and he snaps out of the mind control, but it doesn't seem like anyone else does because they're all still like trying to kill the girls. And then he's like the only dude that lives in the entire movie. It's a bunch of girls and the black guy.
Wow.
And all the frat dudes are just nothing but white dudes too. So that's where I can see why people are like, this movie's like way too woke and shit because of like these things. But I'm like, besides that, it's still a bad movie. They don't explain the goo stuff very well. And then like the girl had seen earlier in the movie, she had seen like them like do like the little roundy thing on their head, which looks like a normal like initiation process for a fraternity when they do it. Where she saw,
Hazing or whatever.
and then like as soon as these people are trying to kill her, she doesn't know who these people are yet. They're in the car racing, and she's like explaining everything. Like the black stuff must be like controlling them, and they're like killing us all because they don't like women. I'm like, how do you know this? What do you do? This movie with the. So this is what I told the other guy that I talked to about this. This movie would have been better as like a TV show where you could explain more stuff, and then it would have worked.
Like a Scream
Kind of
Queens
like
or
a
something?
Scream Queens, yeah, where you could explain more and dive into the history of that, or they can be like in the library looking at books for the black magic stuff to learn about the goo, not to just like tell me the guys found this goo coming out the statue. They decided to rub
this
it
sounds
on their
like
bodies for some reason, but okay.
This sounds like a really shitty, terrible version of Buffy.
Yeah, like a bad
gonna
episode.
Yeah.
I was
Because
gonna
you
say
said
it sounds like Prometheus. Must be a sequel, Prometheus,
go.
right?
Oh my god.
I don't
'cause
remember
you said,
Prometheus.
well, you said like rubbing black goo on. I was like, yeah, if you had a smart writer, you could do some cool stuff. Like imagine
get
one of the
this.
cult people like put the blue goo in like football players.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
torso when they smeared on their face and shit.
Right.
That'd be smart.
Well, get this though. When they bleed black goo.
Fuck, of course. They do. What are they, aliens now?
Right? I was like, wait, this doesn't make sense. None of
Okay,
it
that
makes
sounds
sense.
so
Okay,
dumb.
that's it though for Black Christmas. Don't go see the
Yeah.
movie. I just told you all this stuff anyways.
Yeah, that was awful.
Oh wait,
That
they
hurt
did
my
open
brain.
up with a bad. They opened the movie up with a dildo joke and a masturbation joke for women, and that's how they opened the movie. So that's right
Nailed
there.
it.
You knew like
Equality.
the tone of the movie.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have achieved
Oh
equality.
no, it wasn't that. It was a dildo joke, and you don't need men anymore because you have a dildo now to do the job. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was.
Let's be fair. I do think my biggest shortcoming is that I'm not battery operated. If we're gonna be honest.
Hook a car battery up to your balls.
No, wait, what? Isn't that like a James Bond trap?
I mean,
Oh, no.
you won't be lying to her when you say, "Oh, baby, feels so good."
No, I'm literally turned on. Oh my God, let's get away from.
Let's get away
that
from
for-
a Black Christmas and get to a. Well, I don't want to say White Christmas, but
Yeah,
let's
let's
get to
get
a
to a-
happier.
a multicultural, diverse, inclusive Christmas.
No more slashery, even though that doesn't sound like the voice.
Close enough. Oh my God.
All right,
good
this
stuff.
thing is getting hot.
Yes, yeah, I did. I was rocking a Santa hat and I immediately bailed. I pulled the eject cord very quickly. All right, so since Michael started us off with a horrible film, I think it'd be great to talk about films.
Let's get into
that
some
we
good shit.
love for Christmas.
Wait, we need a soundbite for that. Films that we love.
No, it's gotta be Christmas. It's like Jingle Bells, movies, smell. I'm gonna watch crap. Okay, anyway, that was a fail. So everybody has their personal list of Christmas movies that they have to see every year. Good or bad, I don't care. The list is getting more and more spectacular thanks to Hallmark, Netflix, all that stuff. But we all have our classics. I know Isaac's on a bit of a time constraint today,
Yeah.
so I'd really like to start with you. So, really just, I think, let's just talk your list. Anything that maybe you've seen this year that you think should be added to people's lists. The list you've had for since you were a kid, maybe, like your top 5, like the ones, if you don't watch those by the end of Christmas Day, you have failed your city.
I always say
don't know,
traditions.
right?
Your traditional movies,
Yeah.
because I'm trying to
Ooh.
build that tradition in my house where we watch specific ones every year, and then we
like
toss in random ones. So
Nicely done. Yes. Vocabulary. It's good.
No, it's good. I mean, it used to be long, but like it gets shorter and shorter as life gets busier. And, you know, there's certain things you grew up watching in your family that maybe the wife doesn't like. And so it's like, that doesn't make it
Yeah.
anymore, you know? So let me give you I've got 5 and then one I'm trying to add to the repertoire. So It's a Wonderful Life, Die Hard.
Die Hard. Wait, no. Die Hard. Internet, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
yes, the writer said it was. Boom.
That's not always works, but I also agree it is. I also agree it is.
Is there
So
a Christmas tree in the movie? Christmas movie. Boom.
Nailed it. Okay, sorry, Mahoney, back to your list. Die Hard number 2.
Charlie Brown Christmas,
Ooh, yeah, good.
Home Alone,
All right.
and here's where it kind of like is a tie. Some years we go for Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Hmm.
Kind of a different choice, but it is
Yeah.
it feels very Christmassy.
Well, and it also works with you because of like the Christian like ideology that's kind of behind it because of C.S. Lewis, right? So
Right. Oh yeah.
So I could see that.
And Christmas does happen. I mean, Father Christmas shows up and gives the kids
Yeah.
presents for Christmas.
And
Like,
it happens in snow, Turkish delights.
yeah.
White
Always
witch.
winter, never Christmas. Yeah. But
Come
one
winter,
I
let us
actually
take a look.
rewatched is Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yes!
And I've never seen the whole thing all the way through. And it was great. It was
It's
great.
fucking glorious.
It's got to be on there.
Yes!
I don't think I've ever watched the Muppet Christmas one. I've watched the pirate one that they did, but not the
Muppet
Christmas
Treasure
one.
Island?
Yeah, Treasure Island
You-
I've seen.
Your kids will love it. Watch it. It's the best. I think it should be on everybody's Christmas list.
You'd think
when it
they'd
comes
love
to-
it, but my kids
Muppets
picky
are
as
cool.
fuck.
Puppets are cool, and there's songs. Oh,
Yeah, I thought it was really great because
Do they do
it
a good
blended
job?
so much of like the novel in. Sorry.
Okay.
what?
I was gonna say, do they do a good job with blending the actual story into it?
oh yeah.
Yeah, they did. They used two Muppets as narrators, and so they're actually saying lines that are straight from the book.
It's
And I have
Gonzo. It's Gonzo and Rizzo play the narrators.
Oh, it's
throughout
not the two old
entire
grumpy
story.
guys?
Oh no, they use them.
Okay.
beautifully,
Do
by the
they?
way.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they're the ghost. They're Marley's ghost. Yeah,
Okay.
ghosts. So I have kind of a cool connection to Christmas because growing up, I was in a Christmas play like almost every year. And I got to be Ebenezer Scrooge one year and in A Christmas Carol. And I got to be George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life. And so when I watch these movies, you know, I have an appreciation of like having had the whole thing memorized, right? And
or
seeing how
getting
they
into
do
the
this
head,
and stuff.
like getting into the headspace of the character and stuff like that.
That's pretty
Maybe.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
Did you go method acting on it?
It's be like this grumpy old man.
No, I love the fact that you picked Muppet. Also, like I actually love the fact that a lot of the ones that you picked, are music oriented. Like, Charlie Brown Christmas is one I think everybody really understands and knows, but like never tends to be one that's talked about a lot. Why do you think you threw Charlie Brown Christmas up there?
It's very nostalgic. It's something that's it's on TV all the time, and it's just got a lot of it's got the music in it, and Linus telling the Christmas story, just reciting it. For a lot of people growing up, like that was their Christmas. Like that's what they remember is Linus and talking about the angels and everything. And I think it's just really beautifully done. It's not cheesy, but you just watch it and it's like, oh, this
It
just
feels
makes me happy.
honest. It feels
Yeah.
honest and wholesome. Like, come on, dude, it's the Peanuts characters. Like, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? And like, we all know the music, like the like you hear it at every flippin' retail store ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, and it's like it's that weird. It's so weird to compare it to this, but it's that weird South Park dichotomy, like where it's like things being said by children somehow makes it more poignant out of the mouth of babes type deal.
Yeah.
I like the cast. Yeah, I kind of wish. I do kind of wish because like Charlie Brown Christmas and Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving one is really good, and I like the Great Pumpkin stuff. Like,
And the fact
They
that they
really-
haven't like redone those too, which is nice.
I would
Yeah,
love. Well, I mean, how do you redo those other than just making the animation look better?
Right.
Maybe. So Charlie Brown's like old school 2D animation. It's kind of hard not to talk about those old classic cartoon type stuff without talking about like the stop motion stuff, like the
Rudolph.
original Rudolph. Yeah, I refuse to believe that you don't have Rudolph somewhere in there, like in parentheses, like around that.
Yeah. I like to watch that one. That's one we usually throw on like while we're setting up the tree or something like
Yeah,
that.
in the
It's just
background.
could be in the background. And I love the Snow Monster Man, the Bomble. And the island. Okay, really, that should be on my list because that island of Misfit
Misfit
Toys,
Toys.
man.
Yeah.
That is like one of the best metaphors ever. Is they show up and then here's all these toys that like don't know their purpose, and they're singing the song, and it's like, dude, this is life. This is people.
It's so fun. No, it's fun. Oh, I love the background stuff. Yeah, I picked Muppet Christmas Carol because Muppet Christmas Carol is my favorite, like by far, my entire life. When we get to my section, I'll dive deeper into it. But that's my I'll probably just watch it more than once, but also that's my background one for like setting up the tree and doing stuff because man, they have some good songs.
Yeah.
In that, and it gets you in the spirit, man. I mean, when it comes to holidays and stuff, I'm always about music. It's always about music for me. It's like you have to hear the sounds of the holiday to get into the holiday for me. So I think it might be a little skewed. That's why I love the Charlie Brown Christmas that you picked.
Right.
And Die Hard, come on. Die Hard's great. Die Hard's just a great film. I think I refuse to believe that Laura considers that the one you have to see before Christmas.
Yeah, she's like, it's all right. She's not a big fan of it. But I think it's basically a perfect action movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's
I'd
just a
have to
great
agree.
Christmas movie. Yeah.
I
Every year I watch it, I'm like, this is great. I got to keep watching this every Christmas.
It gets and I think it sounds really dumb, but it's like it's a movie that's so good, but you don't want to overplay it and like figure out why it's potentially not good. But like knowing you can watch it each year with an excuse, but it might not be like traditionally Christmassy. It just happens to take place around Christmas time. What,
bro? No.
No, fight
We're not
it. Bring
going
it.
there. No.
No, let's have a talk.
Okay, let's have a talk. Go
Let's
ahead.
go.
Say what you're
Let's do
saying.
No,
Say
I'm just
what you're
saying. I think you know, they have the motif. It's all happening during Christmas, and you have a couple of people like, you know, obviously they allude to like the characters like coming home to see family, or they want to get home and see their family, but they have this thing they got to deal with. I think it's a cool action movie that takes place during Christmas, so it's a good enough excuse to call it a Christmas movie.
Isn't being saved and not killed a good Christmas present?
There you go. There you go.
I mean,
Doesn't he give
can
a
I say-
Christmas present to the guy down at the bottom when he throws the body out the Aren't there a lot of red and blue lights flashing around the building like Christmas time?
Mm-hmm.
Is okay.
Yeah, blue is
Sure.
part of it.
Sure. Sure.
I have given this some thought, and there's a lot of movies where Christmas happens in it
Yep.
versus like the movie is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
It's not like
And I
everything
think-
has to be a Hallmark Christmas movie, John.
Right.
Not what I'm saying. Calm down. I'm just starting a conversation, Michael.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things. So, movies that have Christmas in it, but I would not consider a Christmas movie. Rocky IV, fight is on Christmas Day,
How dare
but it's kind of just thrown in at the end. Beauty and the Beast.
Is
Beauty and
that
Beast is-
Christmas movie? It's a winter movie, not a Christmas movie.
Right. They're in
There's no
France.
Christmas tree or anything.
They don't celebrate Christmas in France, do they?
John, really?
That was
Did I do a
before.
thing? I don't know.
That was before the revolution, and they got rid of Christianity.
Yeah, see, suck it.
Anyway, Lethal Weapon, Batman Returns.
Batman Returns is a Christmas movie. They have a giant Christmas tree. Come on now. Their
It's true.
Christmas
They
tree
do
is
in
almost
fact
as
Christmas
great as the one in The Grinch with Jim Carrey.
So Shazam's a Christmas movie then.
Gremlins. Gremlins is a Christmas movie, the first one.
I've heard
That
of
one
it.
literally
I've heard
takes
of it.
place
Yeah.
around Christmas. Like they have Christmas presents. Isn't that he a Christmas present or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, Christmas movie.
It's fine. I wasn't fighting that one. Can we talk about why Die Hard is, you idiot?
So I do think Die Hard is Christmas is woven into the story a lot. Like he's going home for Christmas and has a lot to do with his family and like trying to reconnect with his family. You have Beethoven's Ode to Joy in the soundtrack throughout the whole thing.
True.
And then you have that theme of like greed and Hans Gruber and
Ooh.
his greed and the Christmas party. And so it's it's not as Christmas as say Charlie Brown or Muppets, but I do think there's a lot of things in there that makes it feel like a Christmas movie, more than say Rocky IV, where he's like,
Yes.
this is Christmas and we learn to love each other. You know,
Yeah.
If I could change,
you can
yous can change.
We all can change.
We all can change. Whatever. Obviously, it's one of the more iconic Rocky films. It's obviously the weakest one. Or no, five doesn't exist though. 5 is shit.
How many fucking Rocky movies were there?
There's 7. Well, okay.
Before the Creed. Before Creed.
6.
6? Okay.
Yeah. 5 doesn't exist.
I can guarantee I
6
haven't
is a
seen all of them. So.
6 is a decent ending. I really, really love Creed. I don't want to see Creed 2 because they're just going to ruin it.
Wasn't
5
6
is
like the
awful.
one they recently did before Creed? Like right before Creed?
It was Balboa. It was called Balboa.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it was- And it was years ago. It was fine. It was a good send-off, but... Well, and that's why I would argue Creed is fine, too. It's a good continuation of the story without him being the center presence.
It's keeping that world alive without...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can talk more on that because I love the Rocky franchise later.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Me too.
But
Me too.
Die Hard.
But anyway, I do think there is a difference between Christmas is in it versus like the whole story is kind of woven around Christmas.
Like almost like the themes carry itself.
right.
throughout. Okay.
Right.
I feel you.
But hey, I'm not the author of Christmas or anything like that.
No. I feel I just look. It's a hot debate right now with Die Hard being a Christmas movie. I feel you should watch it during the Christmas festivities. I don't know how. There are some diehards.
I feel that's
Sorry to
always...
say it, but they really do hammer home Christmas. But I do really like a few of your examples there, Mahoney. I will definitely have those in the back of my mind the next time I watch it. I do like the idea of the greed and family reconnection and
Not only is he greedy, but he's there giving like the face of like he's not there for the money necessarily right away.
when he's
Which
German.
is like if you go to a family member's house, you're kind of there. Family, but I want the fucking present. Give me the present.
Well, I mean, that projecting a little, but I feel you. No, it's just
As
like
a kid,
but
that's
again,
as a kid, you know.
Yeah,
as an
sure,
adult, I
sure,
don't
sure,
give
sure.
a crap.
yeah, sure. I'd rather just stay home and eat.
Netflix and chill
but-
on Christmas.
Yeah, but no, I feel you because a lot of times those arguments tend to be superficial. It's like, oh, there's a Christmas tree, there's a Christmas party. He
Yeah.
says ho ho ho, that kind of stuff. But no, I like that. I like the idea of a thematic look at it. So that's interesting. So we got what? So what do we have? We have Die Hard at 2, Charlie Brown Christmas,
Muppets,
Muppet Christmas Carol, and then
Home Alone.
I like, and could we make the argument? Let's be fair, just to help lists. Can we just say Home Alone 1 and 2 go together?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to say it because it's so hard not to watch both back to back.
Yeah.
But I do think I do. Oh man, it's so hard. Because the second movie is just as good but more ramped up. But the
It's a
first
lot
one is
faster
so-
paced than the first one, which is nice.
Yeah, because I think I like the first one more just because the concept worked really well. But fuck, dude, the second one's way more entertaining.
I just watched the
Yeah.
first one last night. And I was like
It's
looking
good.
at I was like, you know how many things had to happen for this kid to get left at home alone?
Yo, yeah, but you also have to understand
Like,
it was made at a
it
different
had to be
time,
his
too.
ticket that got thrown away. It had to be like him getting put upstairs, the power going out, the kid coming over from next door to get counted as him. And
a
then his
guy
mom
at the-
still randomly knows it's him for some reason without checking the kids. What?
And a guy in the airport wearing the exact same outfit as his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's for 2. That's for 2. That's Home Alone
it?
2. Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
okay.
at Home
Oh
Alone,
yeah,
he
because
doesn't
he
even
doesn't
get
get
to
on.
the
He doesn't
airport.
even get on. He doesn't even get on the transit.
He's
buses.
asleep
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
And that's another thing with Home Alone. How I brought this up with Nikki because I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell? How did he know the guy going through the window to step on the the stuff there was not gonna
Yeah.
have his shoes on when he came in through that window.
Oh, Marv.
Right.
Yeah. There's no, any one of them could come through the window
Oh,
at
yeah.
any time. I was
Oh,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what the hell? And then I
Um,
was like, okay, I gotta shut my brain off. for
Oh
this
yeah,
at the
there's a
moment.
lot of there's a lot of convenience. Well, to be fair, there's a lot of convenience in both, but
in all of
you
them.
kind you kind of let it go. Dude, I really only operate on the first two, but but I liked the underlying ideal of it was almost Wonderful Life esque in the first one because he actually thinks he wished his parents away.
Right.
So it makes the ending a lot more powerful. The second one, it's like here we go again.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit more in on the joke. So I like that. Both movies give you something a little bit different to his character. It's like, oh, he realizes I do have value with my family.
Still
And then
kind
the
of
second-
confused why he doesn't tell his family about the robbers. Like that would be the one thing my kids would
they
tell me.
do.
They bring it up every day if it happens.
No, they do. They do in between movies. That's why I think, if I remember correctly, that's why he has all that fucking money in New York, right?
No, he
why
has
does he
his
have all the
dad's
money?
bag.
Oh, he's got the fucking bag.
Yeah,
and the,
his parents never
credit-
find out about that stuff.
and the credit card.
Yeah. They don't even find out
That
about
is
it in New
strange.
York. It's like
That's true.
a kid
'cause I thought
opens
he-
their mouth. And how did the house get so clean so fast that night?
I-
Why would he clean it up if
they-
he thought his family was gone?
I thought oh man. Well, you also got to realize one kid's not going to make as big a mess as fucking 14 people.
I'm talking about all the traps he set in the house.
Oh, I don't know.
Movie
Sorry.
magic.
Movie, man.
Let me throw this out there. I think that Home Alone is Die Hard for kids.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. There was actually, oh god, somebody made made a comparison, and I can't think of what it was.
And they just
Damn
say filthy animal instead of what does he say?
Yippee-ki-yay.
Yippee-ki-yay, yeah, thank you. Wow, I should not have blinked on that one.
One of the things that I still like, and I think I'm just senile or something, but people always like remind me that the Filthy Animal movie that he watches, they shot that for the movie.
Yeah.
Like that's not a real movie.
Yeah, everything that's you see is what they shot.
That's
it.
awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Though when I was younger, I was like, oh, where is this movie? And I can't believe I've never Googled it to see the movie and go,
Yeah.
oh, I want to buy the movie and I want to watch the crappy one that he watches. No, they shot it and it works so well because it feels like an old like timey mobster
Yeah.
goofy film.
It had,
I always-
they
I
had to
love
shoot
that.
it exactly like that. Otherwise, how else would it work so perfectly with the film every time he uses
Yeah.
it? And then the
I
second
love
one, in
that.
the second movie, he has another movie of the same thing, like Filthy Animal 2 or whatever. on
And they do
TV.
it better.
It's like,
and they do it so they do all the jokes better.
Yeah.
It's all the same jokes, but they do them better in the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like angels with dirtier faces or something.
Yeah, yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah. My one of my bigger hangups is this is something I never noticed before until I watched wasn't necessarily a review. It was like a fun commentary over the films.
Mm-hmm.
People really look at both the Wet Bandits and the Sticky Bandits, quote unquote, same group, as being completely stupid.
Yeah.
Now Marv is the idiot. Let's be fair. He is the quintessential.
I mean, he
Hanging
is the
them down.
reason they get in trouble for all the crimes in the
Yeah.
first movie.
But Joe Pesci, his character, he's actually extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
He makes a couple of really dumb choices because the movie says, "Hey, I got to do a dumb thing to make this work." But man, his like intuition and like his observation skills are so fucking on point. And actually, the idea of playing a cop and like casing people's houses during the holidays is fucking genius. like he'll see the stupid kid give him a look and he goes, he noticed something. Like he's so good at reading the situation. It's really impressive. So to call them both flat out stupid characters.
Well, in the
I
second
think
one,
is
he
a
kind of
disservice.
loses all that. you
No,
know?
he still does it. It's always
Uh,
Marv. Marv ruins everything, dude. Marv is
Yeah.
always the dumb one.
I'm
and,
curious why he doesn't just use the police outfit to go rob the houses and give some.
Well, because you don't want to. I don't know. You don't want to why is a cop going randomly into somebody's house? When
You-
they're going,
and
I guess.
well, if somebody's home on the accident, like the kid, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, the back door was open. I was making sure everyone's okay inside."
Fair enough. Fair enough. Nope. I just I think those movies hold up. I think they're fun.
Yeah,
And they definitely move over to the realm of cartoony pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you're kind of
especially
okay
the
with it.
older you get and you look at them, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, but
I wish.
but they
I wish,
do a decent job of like setting it up. Oh, your phone lines are going to be down for the week. Oh, this.
Yep.
Oh, that. This and that.
Yeah,
So
they set up.
They set up properly.
They put little puzzle pieces on, and so it might not necessarily be 100% believable, but but they set it up and they put the groundwork in, so it's a little bit easier to swallow. So I
Yeah.
think there's a difference between it's like, oh, that was convenient versus, all right, well, they set this up. It's
And
a little
honestly,
contrived, but we'll deal
like
with
the
it.
thing of them throwing his plane ticket away at the beginning doesn't even matter because they just hand the plane tickets to the stewardess and get on the plane anyways. She doesn't even count them or anything, so it doesn't matter.
Nah, man. That's
And it's
all
not like
yeah.
you give your individual plane ticket out back then in the 90s. It wasn't like, here's one for
Yeah, I was gonna-
this person, and this person. So
Yeah, you have a lot of give for.
Yeah.
It was the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
John
when I hear
McClane's-
Disney wanting to remake that shit, stupid.
John McClane had a gun on the plane, so
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
different times.
Different times. Okay, so
So how about
Okay.
It's a Wonderful Life? Just curious, do
Yeah.
either of you guys have It's a Wonderful Life on your list?
No.
it's a little too slow and a little too. I've seen the retelling of the story in ways that are a little more entertaining for me.
Okay.
I like the film. I don't see myself pulling it out on a constant yearly basis. But
Okay.
I do know it very well and I enjoy it very, very much. But I mean, you got to talk about it. Why? Because you also brought it up as your number one. I don't know if you
Oh, yeah.
necessarily
Yeah,
ranked it
is
as
that your number
but-
one then on your list? Okay.
Yes, that's my number one. Yeah.
So we got to know why.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right. So It's a Wonderful Life, I would consider it one of the best movies of all time. Not even
Ooh.
just the best Christmas movie.
Really?
Because I think it is really timeless.
Okay.
I think it speaks to the human experience really well. And there's a lot of good things about it. You have Jimmy Stewart's acting, which is really good. I think he just brings it to life. You have the iconic Mr. Potter is just this great villain. It's a movie where the villain actually isn't punished in the end. The villain kind of gets away with it, but that's okay. Like, that's not the point of the story necessarily.
Well, and it's supposed to be almost, you want to keep it realistic because you have this weird,
Divine intervention.
yeah,
angel and
it's like
stuff.
how do you keep it grounded? And it's like, not every bad guy's punished, not every good guy wins in the end, quote unquote. So it's kind of nice
Right.
to keep it a little grounded. That's nice.
Right. And I think that Christmas time can be a really difficult time for people as they reflect on life or family or decisions that they've made.
Or lack
And-
of family or things
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So having a movie that is about somebody struggling with their life, that he is seriously contemplating suicide
Yeah.
and then is able to look at his life from a different lens and see, there were all these good things. There was meaning in all of this. And I think they developed his story really beautifully because it's based on a short story. And the short story was basically a guy's really depressed. And so this angel shows him an alternate past and present where he didn't live. But the movie adds a lot. It walks through his whole life. It shows him as a kid saving his brother. It shows him growing up. And it shows all these disappointments in his life. Like, it builds up how he wants to go to college, but then he doesn't because his dad dies and he has to take over the family business. He's excited to go travel and see the world. And then the day he's leaving on his honeymoon to see the world, that's when the stock market crash happens. And he gives all his honeymoon travel money to the bank so Mr. Potter doesn't take over the whole town. Like, you just see this guy give and give and give and give to the point where he has
got
nothing.
nothing
He feels like, what have I done? I've just given everything. And I think we feel like that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like, okay, I did all these self-sacrificing things, or I did stuff for my family or whatever, and now what do I have to actually show for it?
Mhm.
And then given that chance to see, no, there's a reason. Like, if you weren't there to save your brother wouldn't have grown up to be a pilot and save all those guys in the transport on World War II,
Mhm.
right? If you hadn't been here to stop Mr. Potter, like, this is what happened to the town. And in the end, he doesn't really care about the money anymore. It's all about his family and what makes life meaningful. And it just gets me every time.
Well,
Like,
it
I'm
just seemed like
bawling.
even just like even the way you were describing that was really really well described. No, I think it's timeless. I think that's why people, because I could almost make the argument Christmas Carol is kind of an offshoot of that, this ideal like where a man is forced to go back and look at his decisions or look at his life, and
Yes.
there's a reason why that concept can be retold in different formats, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's the ideal of human condition, and the ideals of cause and effect, and which
Yeah.
I think, especially given our time now, when it comes to, I mean, honestly, it sounds really dumb, but like even just what we're doing here right now on the microphones is some of the most poignant or thoughtful interactions I get on a weekly basis with people. And
Yeah.
that's sad. That's
Even
really
when I say
sad.
fuck you.
Yeah, yeah. Suck it. Black Christmas sucks. You know, conversation is slowly dying. The internet is more of a, I post an opinion and we don't talk about it anymore.
Right.
Or people
It's more
fight about it.
or you defend. You're
Yeah.
it's post and defend, not necessarily I'm saying something to start a conversation. And I think that disconnect does lend itself to letting quality films like Wonderful Life. I think I pretty much almost said why I'm dumb about why I don't watch it as much every year.
Yeah.
Is because of that disconnect. I think we're moving so fast and trying to get things done, we don't think about why we're doing it,
Yeah.
and how our decisions affect everyone, not just ourselves.
Mhm.
And man, the way you brought that up, I immediately want to watch it now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Jimmy Stewart's fantastic. I very seldom, and a lot of times, I think because of the way movies are, a lot of old stuff just falls away because I don't know.
Right.
People have this weird this weird idea in their head that they're just not good. I remember watching It Happened One Night. It's like back in the 50s or 40s or something. It's one of my favorite films. You forget that like good actors were always around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And something cool about It's a Wonderful Life is that was Jimmy Stewart's first movie back from World War II.
Oh wow.
And he was a pilot and he saw a lot of people die.
Yeah.
And so as he's playing this character, going through all this stuff, he's as a man processing his own PTSD and the own loss
Yeah.
he's seen in his own life. And that movie was actually a failure when it first came out. People thought it was too dark.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is too serious for a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
well, let's be fair. I guarantee you, a lot of people who are listening to that Christmas movie, first thing you hear is he's contemplating suicide.
Right.
It'll turn people off. But if you could get past that dark moment, you see what comes of it. You know what I mean? Like you have to have the low point to
Right.
earn the high point. And I think that's a part of movie making that we don't get anymore. Is
Yes.
that everybody wants it to be meh. Like nobody earns anything anymore. There's a power source. You don't become the power. You don't work hard and achieve it.
Right.
You don't have self-inflection or self-awareness anymore. You just, if you want it, you can get it, but they don't tell you how, and
Yeah.
or the why, and yeah, the way you describe that, it's like, man, that's just good storytelling. It's a character study that, using his experiences, you can then try to infer or put some metaphorical meaning on your own life experiences and put yourself in there. And I think that's,
Yeah.
man, you may have sold me. I think I may be watching this year for once, and I might try and drop it back on. Because like I said, I mean, every TV show does it. Every TV show has that episode.
Right.
Movies have been remade over and over and over again, giving that weird, like, if you didn't exist, you know, butterfly effect type stuff. But I think this was the pure version of it, like the most wholesome American life. You know what I mean? The 1950s, you know, what do they call them? The radioactive what do they call it? I lost it. What is
The
it
nuclear
called?
family?
Nuclear family. I said radioactive family.
The
They're all
radioactive.
superheroes. They were all bitten by spiders.
Wow.
I think I think it's simple storytelling given in an honest way that maybe because it's not loud and squeaky, people don't pay attention to it. So
Well,
I
yeah,
mean, you gotta think too. Isn't it kind of technically one of the first movies to deal with like a multiverse type thing, like different
Ooh.
alternative realities? John,
damn it, you did it. Damn it, you did it. You did it. Fair enough. I mean,
it's like, I mean, especially for how old it is, they weren't really dealing with a whole lot of stuff back then. Whether it's a Christmas movie or not, it should be looked at in the form of like this, not only the message the movie gives, but like what it opened up for other movies later down the line.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Will George Bailey appear in Identity?
Dun-dun-dun. You know, I think you sold me. Good call, sir.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks.
So we got that. So any honorable mentions? Any holiday movies coming up soon that you think will either get added to the list?
Oh man,
or-
I tried watching some on Netflix recently, and there's just so many bad ones. I watched El Camino Christmas last night, and
Wait,
that
what?
has
That's the one with Tim Allen, right?
right.
That was
El
I watched
Camino
that
Christmas?
a few years ago when it dropped. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like they're in a bar most of the time. It's like a more of a action drama. than
Kind of,
anything.
yeah. It's like it turns into this like hostage situation
Yeah.
at a gas station, and like
Tim Allen's drunk like the whole time. It's awesome.
Right.
It was like right after his show got like canned from ABC, he went off and did this movie to basically say a big, F you to Disney. And did that movie. It was interesting. It's interesting. It's not like anything
Yeah.
great, but it was fun to
No.
watch, I guess.
yeah, just him like falling apart. Yeah. I
Santa Claus
it
getting drunk.
didn't work for me. I watched the trailer and thought this is going to be great. Like all these
Yeah.
great actors, interesting story. You have like a hostage situation for a Christmas story, but it just didn't come together. Like they didn't pull it off.
Yeah.
So I'm actually getting more skeptical. I don't really watch Christmas movies anymore unless somebody recommends it because there's just so many.
Yeah,
Just,
I agree.
like, tons of them.
Honestly, what
but-
El Camino Christmas was trying to be like was kind of like the opening scene from Dusk Till Dawn, with the whole like them robbing the place and shit. But it's like,
Yeah.
but they were trying to do it in like a Christmassy way and more people. and it's like, okay,
Yeah. A great honorable mention is Christmas Vacation.
yeah.
I used to watch it every year. The wife doesn't really like it anymore, or she doesn't like it, so I don't watch it anymore. But I think about it still. Like we're having Christmas dinner, and I'm thinking about like the dog's snot sitting under the table.
Oh Jesus.
So when you turn it on in the background when you're writing your sermons or something, man.
There we go.
So you brought up Netflix. That's funny. I know Michael's watched a couple of the Hallmark-esque crappy Christmas ones, but we'll leave that for a little bit later. There's this one that I'm still interested in. I want to watch it right now, but I promised we wouldn't watch it until Christmas Day at Hannah's parents' house, because I'm hearing wonderful things. I've liked it since the first trailer. Has anybody heard of Klaus? Or Claus?
Yes, that
Yeah.
just came out, didn't it?
It's Netflix. It came out
Yeah.
about a couple weeks ago. I'd say about probably 2 weeks ago. Awesome looking animation.
Yeah.
Looks very like old school German storytelling kind of I don't know, like a left side talking, like not like political left side, like, you know, like a little bit of a, it's Santa Claus essentially, but like not Santa Claus. It looks really interesting. I'm really excited to see that. I have a feeling that's gonna be an instant classic. I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah. I got kind of like a Book of Kells vibe from it. I don't know if
Okay.
you guys have seen that. But yeah, it looks really good.
So it sounds like nobody's seen it yet. So
No.
I won't harp on it, but I think this is for future John. Just saying, I think I'm gonna like it a lot. I think it's gonna be in my list moving forward.
To future John, if you don't like this movie, smack yourself.
Yeah, right on the booty. So you have Muppet Christmas Carol on there. It's on my list, so I want to talk with you about it while you're here.
Dun dun
Yeah.
dun dun.
Michael,
There goes the
have
next
you seen-
hour.
I can't remember. You said you haven't
I
seen it.
don't
right?
remember seeing it ever. No.
Okay. Michael Caine plays Scrooge.
Yeah.
Michael Caine. Your voice echoes down these halls. Fucking Alfred.
What I like is he plays it pretty straight. It's almost like he doesn't know he's talking to Muppets.
Oh, he's so great. Oh well, and it's like it's that weird thing that actors have always kind of been able to do. It's like everybody always says the same thing. They get on set and they're like, "Well, I'm gonna go hang out with the Muppets," and it's like, they're icons in themselves, even though they're pieces of carpet. And they go, there's a moment where you realize there's a guy controlling them, but once you get on set and you start working, that fades away.
Yeah.
You're like, I know Kermit. I've known him since I was a kid, and I'm talking to Kermit. I'm not talking to a puppet. And I always love you get to see a lot of actors kind of slide into that. And but I'm always going to bring this up. I know I've probably brought it up on the cast about 900 times, and hopefully we'll do many more episodes and I'll bring it up 900 more times. Muppet Christmas Carol was one of the first tellings of A Christmas Carol I'd ever seen in movie form. After seeing it, I was absolutely under the impression that A Christmas Carol was a musical. I did not know it was just a random ass story. Because I will never forget, I think it was TNT or USA or something. Back in the day when they were making movies, they had Patrick Stewart come in and he played Scrooge.
Yeah.
In A Christmas Carol. And I'm like, I love Patrick Stewart. I'm going to watch it. It was like 3 hours long. And I'm about an hour in. And I remember going, this is fucking boring. There hasn't been a single song. What is going on? And then I found out that it wasn't a musical, and I felt really stupid. Yeah, so there's that. So gotta ask, are you like a huge Muppet fan? Like, do you watch all the other stuff? Because lo and be told, I'm a huge Muppets guy. I love Muppet Treasure. I'll watch any Muppet film ever made. I actually enjoyed that reboot ABC like Office-esque version that they made. I was hoping they were actually going to reboot the Muppet Show, which I still think they could do if they wanted to.
What'd you think
Like
of
SNL style?
the two movies they did, the recent two movies?
I liked the first one. I
Yeah.
couldn't be bothered to see the second.
Right.
From seeing the casting and seeing a couple of trailers, I go, they didn't have a story.
Yeah.
This was just them fucking.
The second
around
one
with
was just a
goofy
money
people.
grab.
It looked like trash.
Yeah.
The first one I actually enjoyed because Jason Segel did a lot of the music.
Yeah, and he's a huge Muppet fan too. So
yeah, exactly.
it was a bonus.
It just felt really good, and it was neat to have a Muppet who wasn't a Muppet, quote unquote, being the like protagonist.
Yeah,
I thought that was neat. I thought that was relatively new. And him interacting with somebody like Jason Segel, who's musically inclined and actually cares about the material. It felt good. I don't know if it's necessarily a good film.
right.
I'd have to watch it again.
I think it's pretty good.
It was fine.
It's pretty
It was
solid
definitely
for
good.
like a Muppet movie after so long too. And just knowing that he was on it, I was like down because I remember when he did Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and he
Yep.
did the puppet.
He wrote
scene.
that.
Yeah,
He wrote all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was honestly one of the reasons why I was actually gung ho about it, because I do enjoy Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I think it's a great movie. Yeah, no, it felt fine. You could tell they got sequel-itis on the second one, so I didn't even bother. I didn't want them to ruin the first one.
They kind of did like what they did with like Cars 2, where they just it's got to be a spy film now, and this one was like it's got to be like a Sherlock Holmesy type.
How do we get
weird
explosions
thing.
in? How do we get explosions and CGI and more actors and more puppets and insanity?
And they didn't even have Jason back in that movie or anything. It's like
No,
he was a
that's when I was
prominent
out.
figure in.
Yeah, that's when I was
them,
out. Once I
so.
found out he wasn't in it, I was like, nah, I'm good.
All right. Anyway,
Yeah, sorry, but again, so Isaac, where are you at with that one?
I haven't really watched much of the Muppets stuff. I think when I saw it really young as a kid, I didn't get it. Because I love Sesame Street, but then Muppets it's not for little kids. Like little kids can enjoy it, but there's a certain kind of humor to it. I think I was just too young for it.
I was going to say they're like Looney Tunes, but puppets.
Animaniacs.
Sure, but Looney Tunes is older. But I'll just say like Looney Tunes-esque, like storytelling, but through puppets. But that's what I would say.
Yeah.
But,
So I've definitely seen or enjoyed the stuff that I've seen more recently. But I really love A Christmas Carol in general, and I think Muppets did the best, or at least up there with the best adaptation I've seen.
I'd agree. I would absolutely agree. I do like because of Gonzo and Rizzo, they do tend to use them as the narrative device, like the narration device, in all of their movies, or at least with like when they do retellings, like Muppet Treasure Island and shit like that.
Yeah.
One of my biggest things is I love the characters that they picked, the Muppets to be specific characters.
Yeah.
If I had to ask, what are the like moments in that film that like really stuck out to you? Like maybe that you were like, this is why it's better than a lot of other versions I've seen, or like maybe they really nailed this casting for the Muppet or the human, or like the song or the character design, because they did design puppets for certain characters, like the ghosts, for example.
I liked the balance of the humor and the classic seriousness of the story. One of the issues with Christmas Carol is it can get boring. It can get slow. And so I just think that like kind of humor, parody nature of the Muppets and stuff, but then you have these nice serious moments with Michael Caine. When he's looking back on his childhood and like trying to justify it to himself, like, oh yes, these Christmases were great because it gave me room to work on my stuff. And you could try to see him as like, no, justify his miserable childhood, and that dichotomy of the humor, but also the playing it straight works really well.
Like Sam Eagle being this hard ass, but he's a puppet. You know, it's like he's a jerk, and you're like, oh, he's making him it's kind of cold and calculating and all that stuff with his childhood, but it's like, oh, he's talking to a puppet. So it gives you a little bit of lightheartedness, and and even like moving forward when you like see him like having to deal with the I think it's either the present or the future. It was the present when he goes to his son's party, his grandson's party or whatever, and they're all talking about him. Man, who hasn't had that moment where they in their head feel like that's how people talk about them when they're not around? And again, it's like the way you described It's a Wonderful Life, I'm like, this is pretty much like it's almost the same ideals. I loved and again with the like you were talking about how it can get boring, the music breaks that up so quickly. Like one of the slower moments in the original storytelling that could have been really boring is pretty much everything in the business, like where they're talking about coal for the fire.
Right.
And then the Marley scene when the Marley ghosts come. And for Michael, this is where they use the old guys.
Mhm.
Instead of Marley just being his partner, they actually broke it up to Marley and Marley.
Okay.
So they were two old brothers.
Right. So they could play off each other and stuff.
Yes, and it was really, really
Yeah.
well done. It's actually one of my favorite songs in the movie. And like the imagery that they use is really, really. They do this really cool thing of like haunting, but like whimsical at the same time. Like I really like my best example would be the Ghost of Christmas Past, the young girl puppet.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like a ghost,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it's like a child ghost
Yeah.
and a puppet. So you're
Right.
kind of like, oh, this is kind of nice, and like the
Right.
way she speaks to him.
Yeah. I think what makes A Christmas Carol work is the life journey that movie takes you on. So that is similar to It's a Wonderful Life. It's sort of different because like in It's a Wonderful Life, he had this kind of happy life but consistent disappointments.
Mhm.
Whereas Scrooge just starts out like, this is a horrible guy. You just hate him. Like it's going out of its way to make you hate
To
Scrooge.
set him up to
Yeah.
be like, you're a bad person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love how they kept some of these brutal lines from the original novel. Like when the two guys ask Scrooge for charity
Yep.
to help the poor, and Scrooge just says, "Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?"
Mhm.
Right? And you just go, dude, what a jerk. What a cold. And then you go back to his childhood and you saw how he was an orphan and he was alone. And then you see Fezziwig and he had this great life, but then his sister died and he changed. He became wounded when his sister died. And then his fiance left him. And he basically just became this cold-hearted, if I can control money, then I'm not ever going to get hurt.
I have
And,
control of something. Yeah.
Right. And then you see him like realizing that in himself as this whole story is going on. And there's these really beautiful moments about appreciating life and just how beautiful life is. And that's Tiny Tim's character
Mhm.
is him having, like Scrooge would have thought, just what a drain on society, this little crippled kid.
Mhm.
But then he begins to see life differently and actually love Tiny Tim.
Well, and having Bob Cratchit be so supportive of all these things, even when he's getting beat down constantly, he's always optimistic and wants to be with his family. It's kind of like what Scrooge could have been, or maybe what he thinks. Maybe that's who I'd be if I was like that. I'd be dealing with all this crap and blah blah blah, and to see him go
Right.
home to this loving family, even if they're working on whatever low incomes that they have, I think it's neat.
Yeah. You see him fall in love. You see him Scrooge start out with like, they're so poor, they have nothing. How can they be happy? And then the whole scene unfolds and Scrooge begins to get involved in it and feel like he's part of the family. And then I love the dynamic with Bob Cratchit's wife, who hates Scrooge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what really makes the Muppet version work, and other versions I've seen is how much Bob Cratchit's wife really hates Scrooge. Because I've seen a lot of versions where they don't play into that.
Yeah. Scrooge,
And-
they don't play into it with Scrooge, I know. A whole lot.
No. Well, and I think that's the glory in the Muppets is that you have all of these characters in your arsenal over years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And because you have all these hyperbolic personalities within these puppets, you also have this built-in love for a character, no matter who it is. Like, we're not necessarily looking at Fuzzy-Wig, we're looking at Fozzie-Wig because we're looking at Fozzie. So him being kind of joking and throwing a party makes sense. Or Miss Piggy being hyper-aggressive and mean and a bitch. It's kind of like, well, that's Miss Piggy. And like, and Kermit and Piggy already actually have a relationship in the Muppet world, and it's so fun. But then they introduce these puppets that, man, they nail they nail the personalities and they nail the character design. Like like again, Ghost of Future Past is a child, so innocence and all that, and ghostly figure. Then you have the Ghost of Present. He's a Santa Claus looking dude with a red beard, and then you see him age, which is really cool when he has to leave, which is fun. And then you have of Christmas Future, who looks just like Death, but he's really cool looking, very ring wraithy.
He was, yeah.
But my favorite is Present, the Santa Claus guy. Come in and know me better, man.
Yeah.
Like they really all have these like hyperbolic personalities, and with a puppet you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Imagine, I think a perfect example would be when they tried to redo it in that weird, creepy, like Polar Express animation with Jim Carrey, and he played all the ghosts.
Oh no,
They
no,
had-
I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Like I
I was
remember
trying to
him like
figure out.
being
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I remember him being like the candle flame for the Ghost of Christmas Past, and
Yeah.
he was like the face on the candle. I was like, this is a little too goofy, and it's removing the weight of the situations for me.
They're trying to see what they could do with the tech that they were using at the time. too.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened with that one, but I don't know. I think the puppets really lent themselves to
Yeah.
these hyperbolic characters, and they're still tangible. Like
The
they're
thing-
in the scene with Michael Caine,
Now
which makes it good.
without me seeing that the movie,
Yeah.
it's like for me what I thought was really cool. I listened to the soundtrack. I have the
Oh, okay.
soundtrack.
Good songs.
But I just haven't watched the movie that I can think of. I probably did when I was a kid. Who the frick knows?
I highly recommend if you can't
But
tell.
like for me, I'm like it's probably a good just from hearing what you guys are saying. It's good that they still did it as a period piece
Oh yeah.
instead of trying to bring it
Absolutely.
to like present time Muppet, world type stuff.
Muppets Take Manhattan or some shit.
Right,
like that. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So that probably helped a lot too with it. And then like with the doing like the ghost is hyperbolic is really cool while you're still keeping the rest of the story grounded. That's one thing that I found with Scrooged, even though I love that one, it's the Bill Murray
Yeah,
one.
it's great. I love that.
It's a
one.
good one, and the ghosts are like super hyperbolic, but there's nothing to like bring it down because Bill Murray's super hyperbolic too.
Yeah.
It's just like bring something down back to here, right
Yeah.
here, So
Because when you're dark and dreary the whole time, it does weigh on the heart
Yeah.
a little bit, and it makes things hard. It's why you can't watch Pursuit of Happiness every day.
Yeah.
Even though it's a good film.
I kind of feel maybe I'll talk about it when I get to that movie, but just loosely, like they kind of did something similar to like the Ghost of Future Past, Present, and all that crap with the Santa Claus 3. When he gets the
Oh, okay.
Santa Claus
Oh,
powers
really?
back and he like goes in and everything is changed. He finds out everything is like completely different in his life. And he's just an asshole apparently still,
That-
So
That's
it's
awesome.
very loosely in there, but I feel like when I saw it
Yeah.
before, I was like, oh, that's kind of
could-
like
you could
this.
make the-
yeah,
you
you
could
can
make
make
the
the
comparison.
connections.
Okay, so again, I could talk glowingly
Yeah.
about Muppet Christmas Carol for 1,000 years.
Glow.
Isaac, I know we're pretty much reaching the finish line with you, sir. Any last remarks for Muppets or any of the movies you have, and then I'll just have you reiterate your list. Maybe something you're looking forward to seeing this year, to drop off, and then maybe give you your chance to dip out because I know you got things to do.
Yeah, I got an appointment coming up here. So I think the last thing on Muppets Christmas Carol I really liked was there's a difference between Scrooge being afraid that he's going to die versus just his life be wasted and meaning nothing. And there's some versions that the terror is the tombstone. Like,
Yeah.
die. And in Muppets, it wasn't that way. It went through what the book does is showing these businessmen laughing about going to a funeral and how nobody's going to miss him, right? It shows Tiny Tim being dead and like Bob Cratchit, and just so when it gets to the tombstone, it's not this realization that he's going to die. It's like I'm gonna die and no one will miss me.
It's about legacy more
Glad
so.
I'm dead.
Well, and I like that you brought that up. Would you say I'm gonna kind of project a little bit. The idea, like, because you look at the past, like these kids wanted him to hang out, and he just stayed inside and did his thing. And then, like in the real world, his was it his nephew? Is that who it was?
Yeah, Fred.
His nephew was actually trying to get him out of his
Yes.
shell and bring him and do this stuff, and he
Yes.
keeps constantly disconnecting himself rather than like the world kind of disconnected it from him because of things he couldn't control.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I love the idea that like he had all these things happen to him, but people reached out to him and he still wasn't having it. And
Yeah.
when he was forced to look back at it, he goes, it was me. A lot of this was me. I could have changed certain things. I could have had a different outlook. I could have went to my nephew's party. I could have done these things, but I chose not to. And my legacy will be a bunch of people who don't like me and a headstone with my name on it, and that's about it. And that's neat, and that's another relatable thing. I think that's probably why Wonderful Life still can transcend decades, and I think that's why Christmas Carol can do it. But I again think that this is a underrated, if not unknown, version of the telling of that story.
Yeah, I think the best Christmas movies, in my opinion, stick with that original Christmas theme. And you think about the nativity and stuff like that, and you have this very complex picture, which on the one hand is very poor. Of the story of Joseph and Mary and baby Jesus, they're in the stable with the animals. Jesus is in a manger, right? His bed is straw. And you just look at this and go like, this is the poorest, most miserable way to deliver a baby ever.
Yeah.
And yet there's also a deeper meaning going on. There's like a beauty going on, and there's a hope there for like what is going to happen. And I think It's a Wonderful Life and Christmas Carol and some others wrestle with, there are times where life is really difficult, where it's really poor and we don't have things that we want, or we have our disappointments. And yet behind that is a deeper meaning, and there is a lot of love and there is a lot of hope in them. So that's my final 2 cents.
Awesome. I loved it.
All right.
Good list. Glad we got a lot of discussion out of you. Michael and I are going to continue on because he's got his list. I got a couple on mine. But Isaac,
I'll have to catch the rest later. So
this was fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in again.
Yes, thank you.
thank you guys.
So if we don't hear from you again beforehand, Merry Christmas to you and Laura. Take care and look forward to having another chat with you pretty soon, man.
Sounds good to me. Thank you guys. Merry
Have
Christmas.
a good one, man. Merry Christmas. Happy
care.
holidays, actually, right? No, we're not allowed to say Merry Christmas.
Shut up, Michael.
Oh, a good night.
Merry Christmas, man.
Awesome. All right. Well, good. That massive's gone. Love you, Isaac. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
And Happy New
all right.
Year.
So since he's out, I figured
Jingle
So, Michael,
bells, jingle bells.
I saw-
Crisis smells. Batman killed Superman.
are you okay there?
I don't
Did you have a
know what the
stroke?
fuck I'm saying, so please go away right now. Hey.
Awesome. God, why bother rhyming? Can't wait. Is your Christmas album gonna drop next year?
I want it to. I need to find people.
Oh,
No one wants to do my Christmas album with me. And I've been writing songs for like 2 years.
God, you
Because
would.
I want original shit.
So I saw that one or two of my movies lined up with Isaac.
Yeah.
I have a feeling one or two of my movies are going to line up with you. So I figure let's just throw it to you, the host. And
All right.
So what you got, sir?
Okay.
What's
Let's do it.
so for your
Okay.
top Christmas movies? What are the
All right.
movies you feel that you must see?
So I have 7 of them that we watch every year for sure.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Gotcha.
And then it was funny because this year in the car, they were talking about Christmas Chronicles on Netflix. The one that The one that what's his face did with his.
You're on an island by yourself, sir. I have
Come
no idea what
on.
you're talking about. Nope.
Fucking
Russell. No, not Russell. Not Russell Crowe.
No.
Russell. Fucking
Star-Lord's daddy.
Yeah. The guy from fucking Escape from LA.
Yes. Oh, why can't I think of his name? It's not like I don't have a computer in front of me. I could look it up, right?
I know.
Anyways, like we watched that last year, and I was like, "Oh, this is a good one. We should add this to our repertoire of movies." And we didn't.
Kurt Russell.
It's
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell. But we were talking about it yesterday in the car, and Micah's like, "We're gonna watch that at school," and I was like, "We've already seen that." And Nikki's like, "Yeah, you were gonna add it to the list of movies to watch. Why haven't you?" I was like, "Cause we have too many that we can't keep up with anyway."
Yep.
So, with that said, my top 7 that we watch every single year. So you know they're older ones, older-ish, at least. I'm not gonna do these in any specific order, but I'll tell you like the top number 1 after I'm done. So I got.
Yeah, just tell us your list and then tell me your favorite.
Yeah.
How about that?
I got Home Alone and Home Alone 2 are in there.
Classics.
Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
Hell yeah. Ta-ta, Turtle Man.
Christmas with the Cranks with Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis.
I've never seen it.
Yeah. It's fun. And then Santa Claus, The Escape Clause, and Santa Claus 3.
So you love you some Tim fucking Allen.
Or no, wait,
over
Escape Clause is the third one, sorry. Santa Claus 2 is the Mrs. Claus. That's right.
Here. Oh, God forbid we get those twisted.
Yes.
So I actually love the concept of Santa Claus. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Little morbid that he kills Santa. Or no, does he kill him?
He does. See, this is the thing we're talking about the other day, because we just watched the first one again on Friday, I think it was. And he doesn't, I mean, Santa Claus falls off the roof, but then he like waves goodbye before he disappears. Does he die? Does he not die? Where's the other Mrs. Claus go
easy.
when he goes?
He becomes a Force Ghost.
He just retires.
He's a Force Ghost.
Okay.
He becomes more powerful because Tim Allen killed him. He struck him down. He become more powerful than any Santa ever. I'm sorry, we did it again. Fucking Star Wars. I hate you.
But
So
I assume he doesn't kill him. That just if Santa Claus falls off the roof, that means he's retired.
Sure.
He's too old to stay on the roof anymore. So
I'm okay
he's
with
gotta
headcanon.
retire.
I'm okay with it.
I mean,
Even if he dies, if he becomes a Force Ghost with Mrs. Claus, I'm cool with it.
and then like the first one is the best one of those 3, though. And I honestly think the first Santa Claus movie out of those 7 is my favorite one from them, even from Home Alone and shit. Just because of like the story arc. I'm a huge Tim Allen fan too. I don't care what.
It's just your
any of his
favorite
stuff
Christmas
is.
movie.
Yeah. It's
So we just
a
jumped
favorite.
ahead. This is your favorite Christmas movie.
Just this is
Okay.
the favorite one. So
Cool.
And that's. I mean, there's several reasons why, and there's a lot of like cool undertones that as watching it every damn year, I start to notice more and more that they put into it. Like,
isn't that fun?
it's a
That's so much fun.
Christmas movie dealing with Santa Claus, but there's a lot of undertones in this thing that like open up the gates to like Christianity and all this other stuff. I'm just like, that's what a Christmas movie should be. If you're gonna call it a Christmas movie and you're basing it on that, why not?
So this is going to be a fun moment for you, since there's 3 movies.
Yes.
So obviously lore. But you're operating under the idea that you love the first one the most.
Yeah.
As a person who's never seen any of them, because I'm a bad man.
You haven't seen any of them?
I don't. Tim Allen's 50-50 on me.
Not even the first one.
I just it didn't. It rubbed me wrong a little bit. It felt weird to see the idea of quote unquote killing Santa and then he takes over the thing. Felt strange. It would have been cooler if they gave like a pass the torch like they do in new movies now.
Uh-huh.
But whatever, it's funny. I don't care. It's fine. It's I'm curious as a guy who hasn't seen it yet. Now I'm gonna watch it because you talk about it so glowingly.
At least the first one. The other two kind of get more comical and very
They get
like
sequely.
yeah. Because they
They get
do more with the North Pole anyway. So
I was curious if, since he's taken, and you brought up Christianity, and obviously you can't help it. Thank you, Isaac, for being here. We love you. Do they like actually delve into that stuff? Like maybe like the idea that maybe we worship
no, it's
Santa
super.
Claus
It's
over that stuff, or like...
it's how movies should do undertones. Honestly,
Well, I'm talking like
It's
I'm
like-
talking more like you're
So
talking about
they-
the undertones.
they
But I'm
dive
curious,
more.
Like,
So
is it
so with it, where I find it at-
commercialism versus the holiday. You know, commercialism.
they do
versus the
dive.
holiday.
They talk about that loosely, but it's not like commercialism versus like Christian holiday. They talk about like, no, why are we like making crappy toys for kids? Because they got that way they can buy more. No, that's crazy. Santa would never give him this, type of thing like that.
Oh, okay.
But where I'm looking at is like how they talk about it with like faith base. Like you have to have
Okay.
faith in this. Just because you don't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist type shit.
Almost like
And-
almost like Elf, like how belief.
Yeah,
powered
Belief
the-
is
the
like a
sleigh.
good undertone in Elf as well. Like
Okay.
so
okay,
that's
cool.
like what runs through the whole first Santa Claus movie because it's all based on like believing in something that you don't actually see or have never seen.
okay.
So
Having faith, essentially, quote unquote. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
So
Awesome,
and it runs through that whole movie. The second two, not so much. There's still undertones of other things in those movies though, but not that prominent.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha.
and it also opens up a gate to a multiverse in those movies too. So.
Oh, I hate you.
Not only with the third one where they literally show an alternate reality, but the second one because of stuff that happens in the first one that they don't talk about in the second one. But we'll go there later. There is a cool little thing in, I think it's the second Santa Claus movie. In the second one, they bring in like Father Time, Mother Nature, stuff like that. All those like embodiments of those things. The Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, all that crap. Like
It reminds me of Guardians.
yeah,
Or not
yeah.
Guardians.
It's the Guardians of or the Christmas. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it brings in those guys, and one of the characters from the first Santa Claus movie actually plays the same actor, I should say, plays it's Peter Boyle, the guy who played was it Raymond's father? Everybody loves Raymond.
Oh,
dad.
I love him.
He plays like Tim Allen's like boss in the first one, and in the second one he's like one of I forget which spirit he is, but he's one of the other like things in there. And then when I
He's
think
the
of
paragon
that,
of hope.
right, or something like that. But then I'm like, right there, multiverse. They just look
Oh my God,
alike.
I hate you. I hate you.
But
I love the fact that you are sticking to this multiverse thing, like as your shtick, and I applaud you for it.
But yeah, no, they're fun movies. The last, I mean, they always make me smile. The last two are a lot campier than the first one, of course. But they're still fucking hilarious points.
So
in
they're
there.
just fun.
Yeah, they're just
Awesome.
fun. They're fun.
So at least check out the first one if you enjoy it.
If you enjoy
Stuff-
like a traditional like Christmas movie with like those somber tones and everything too, like watch the first one. It's more of a family movie, and the other
It's a
two
little more
feel more
relatable.
like kiddish. So
Gotcha.
yeah, because
Okay.
once they start dealing with like everything in the North Pole, it's
Yeah.
automatically getting more childish.
I will always say Tim Allen is not an actor I seek out, but he's one that I know will deliver for the most part. I always tell people Last Man Standing's first season was phenomenal. Dude, Buzz Lightyear, come on. His voice acting's great. Home Improvement, obviously a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of his
Even
movies
his
are pretty
performance
damn good.
in Galaxy Quest, awesome.
Oh, dude, easily one of my favorite films.
Which I think he
did.
did that right after the first Santa Claus movie, because they took a gap between the two.
Never gave a shit about that film. Actually, the first time I saw it, I'm like, I don't get it. And
The Galaxy Quest movie?
Yeah, I had a couple of Trekkies throw it at me, and then I watched Doctor Who. And after I
Yeah.
saw Doctor Who, I went back and rewatched it. I go, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
This is
It's
absolutely
super
brilliant.
ahead of its time, bro. That's like
I
so
absolutely agree.
meta. Before meta was meta, I guess.
But it sounds dumb, but it's like it's what makes it better because
Yeah.
it's just like they knew what they were doing. They weren't pandering. Like now, if they made it, even if it was good, they'd be like, "Oh, I get what you're doing."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I agree.
They need to do
Cool,
one of those
so
like Star Wars so it can be the best Star Wars film.
Let's never talk about that again. That shit died a year ago. 2 years ago.
But I know, like, so Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 were on my list as well. But those,
And I'm fine clumping those together.
Yeah.
I really am fine doing
which we kind of talked about the first one, sort of. But
that. Anything that sticks out about it that you really, really enjoy, or the reason why you put it
the
on
first
there? Maybe
one,
we hadn't discussed.
I liked. To be honest, as I'm getting older, I just like to create my own theories and stuff, and then read other people's theories on these movies.
Fucking Christ.
And so, like, one of the coolest ones is like when his mom is like, "I'd sell my soul to get to the devil to get home to my kid," and then Jim Belushi. Is it Jim Belushi? No, it's what Belushi is it?
It's John or Jim?
John Belushi. No, yeah, John, because Jim was the one that had his own show.
Yes.
So John Belushi comes up and it's like he's the devil and he's. But when you get past all those dumb, stupid theories, I love the traps. You know, I liked watching the traps. I mean, I played the Sega video game of Home Alone where you get to set up this dumb trap stuff. Some of the traps are just so stupid in the movie. You're like, with blowing feathers at the guy. How's that supposed to stop him? You want to stop this guy? Like, come on, do something better. Although he did do a flamethrower right at the door, so
That's what I was gonna say. You gotta have a couple of the comedy ones.
Yeah.
Because dude, he got his head lit on fire.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Him walking. You do make a good point about why he didn't have his shoes on. Granted, the movie like forces him to not have shoes on, but like, what are the odds? You know.
right.
But fuck, man, there's a couple of those traps that could have failed miserably.
And it's like you're going and you're walking by anyways. If you saw the window open on your way to those stairs, just go through the window.
But suspension of
But
disbelief.
I know.
You got to work on those.
Especially, you know, back then they didn't have people examining their movies as hard as people do nowadays.
Well, I can examine it now. That's not an excuse. You can still examine it now, and
Yeah, you can examine it now, but I'm saying, like, back then they weren't making movies to try and be like, no plot holes.
Well, you should always be willing to do that.
Yeah, well, they weren't.
Again, it's not an
The
excuse.
score, John, the score was so good. They didn't give a shit.
Don't get me started. That is a terrible argument. The idea that we know that fundamentally a plot hole is bad, you should be working to not have them.
Yeah.
But I would say but we already talked about it, but it's mostly they set up good enough that where you're like, okay, I get what's happening. Now I'm here for the ride versus like bullshit. Okay, what
Right.
is happening? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like they set it up enough to where you're like, I don't know about that, but
And it's one of
All
those
right, you
things too to
explain
look
these.
at them now in like the society we live in now. It's like you can call bullshit on a lot of that stuff, but it's like things were a lot different back in the 90s too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like
Oh,
if your kid
the
went
National
lost
Lampoons.
and accidentally got lost and went to New York, like how that kid ain't getting to New York nowadays. They are gonna scan
come
that
on.
thing and make
like,
sure.
like National Lampoon. I'm just gonna talk movies being
Yeah.
made in general. Christmas Vacation, him sliding down the fucking hill because he put Pam on the bottom of
Yeah.
his thing and he like freaks out. You know, shit like that. You know, or even Home Alone 2 when Marv grabs the like battery and he's like getting shocked to death, and he turns into a
A
skeleton.
skeleton for no reason.
You're not getting. But it's fucking hilarious. You're watching the film and that happens and you go, I don't really care. That's really fucking
Yeah.
funny. You would not get away with that in a film these days.
Not
People
that's
would
trying to be
too
serious
hypercritical.
too. You know, it's supposed
Well,
to be
'cause up
grounded,
until
but
that,
then it's
yeah.
like we give you a plastic skeleton.
Yeah,
In
or
a
Marv
bad
takes
wig.
or Marv takes a fucking brick to the face from like 10 stories up.
Takes
It's
a
like,
few bricks from to the face,
He
dude.
took like 3. I'm like, dude, that would have caved your fucking skull in. But you know, we get what they're trying.
You know
to
what the
tell
movie
us.
was trying to say there is he's thick-skulled.
Oh man,
There you go.
misogynist.
That's why he's so stupid.
Okay, so we know Home Alone's.
Yep.
And we're gonna lump them together. We got the Santa Claus movies.
What'd you think of Home Alone 2 though? Because we
I-
really
I-
only talk about 1, but like 2, I mean, it's basically the same thing, just in New York City.
Honestly, the problem is I have to go back and watch them both again, which I
Mm-hmm.
pseudo did. But I would say I think 2 is more entertaining.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to enjoy 2 without 1. And my thing would be is that all 2 did was the exact same script, just in a different location.
Right. They make him
And
home
more
alone in a
hyperbolic.
different way, even though he's not home, but still.
And it's hyperbolic. like the characters are a little more hyperbolic. They do literally all the same jokes.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. And it had a more fun message.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just not being forgotten and all that stuff and just fun. It was a lot more fun. The first one, like I said, I enjoyed because it was a cool concept, and the idea that Kevin McAllister thought he actually Thanos'd his fucking family away made the ending a little more poignant.
Yeah.
So I think they're both great, and I think that's why they should operate as an inclusive
Togetherness, yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yes, they're 2 movies. They're the same movie, but I think they're both good for different reasons. So it would be really hard. Honestly, depending on how I woke up and what mood I was in that day, that's how I would rank which one's better.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they're both great. I think they're both fun.
I think, you know, people say like the whole like the kid running around with the older guy or the old lady in the movie, like that's just like that would never happen in today's world and stuff like that, right? That's what people like. I've seen people complain about it this year.
Oh, yeah.
On the internet,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm like, I used to go over the dudes' houses that my parents never met, and the guy was like 60, 70 years old when I was a kid.
When I lived in Iowa, we lived in an apartment complex, and Rex and Vernie, and if you don't, just by the name Vernie, you know how old they were. I believe it was short for a Vernice, and even though it's not shorter.
Right.
My mom locked me out of my house constantly. Single mom at the time, and
Yeah.
I'd get home from school, and sometimes I would forget my house key or something would happen, and I get locked out. It happened so frequently that our neighbors, a beautiful old couple, probably about in their 80s, like mid 80s, finally when they saw me just sitting on my step in front of the house, they'd invite me in.
Yeah.
And they'd give me something to eat, or like we'd play checkers or chess or all kinds of stuff, and they'd show me cool stuff, and I go, fuck you, man. Like, people act like this shit doesn't exist. It's like you just don't live in a place where it exists.
And it's not like
it
his
still
parents
exists.
know that it's happening too. That's the thing. It's like
Exactly.
My parents didn't know. My parents probably won't know until they listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Good
I would
people
go
exist.
I would go over to dude's house. He lived like 3 blocks up the street from us, and I would just, you know, I met him at a park one day. It was really weird.
Nice guy.
Like when
Nice
you
guy.
talk about it, it sounds like very like, oh my God, that kid's still alive type thing. But it's like I met him at a park. We talked. I like listening to his stories. He was a military guy, so I like listening to the war stories and shit. And he was disabled and all that. So it was cool. I really wish I remembered his name. I know he's dead by now, but yeah.
I think the problem is with the internet, people forget that good people actually exist.
Yeah, because the internet, the media just pushes all the bad shit on you. So
No Country for Old Men. It's the best thing you could always say is that everybody always assumes everything is bad. It's like it's always been bad. It's just now we get to see it on a more
an easier to
frequent
scale.
a frequent scale.
Yeah,
We see it more
yeah.
often. Especially I'm spoiled. I grew up a lot of the times on army bases and in the Midwest where people are just better people.
Yeah.
So yeah, good people exist. Deal with it. Suck it. I don't have a problem with
it.
I don't have a problem with Pigeon Lady. She's also Scottish. I think that's a small thing that people forget. She's an immigrant. So
She didn't get back with her family though, right?
nope. A lot of stuff happened and
Yeah.
things happened and
She got it was
But
the
they'll be
old guy that got back with his family at the end, which I'm
Yes,
still like,
because of Kevin.
did it really happen, or is it just in Kevin's brain when he looks
Shut
out
up,
the
you're dumb.
window and
It
sees
did
the
happen.
guy
It
shoveling
absolutely-
snow? No,
Fuck you, it actually happened. Give me my fucking happy ending, you prick. Okay, so what else you got on the list?
it was Christmas with the Cranks and Jingle All the Way. So
God, you really are about Tim Allen, huh?
I am.
So
He makes
again,
like
I
the
haven't.
best Christmas movies, dude. Like Christmassy
So-
movies.
His wife in Christmas with the Cranks. I can't remember. Is it the same wife from Home Improvement?
No,
or
it's
was it
Jamie
the
Lee
chick-
Curtis. Jamie Lee
Oh,
Curtis.
fuck off!
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Dan
Okay.
Aykroyd's in it. The little kid from Malcolm in the Middle is in it. The one that played
Frankie Muniz.
No,
Or
the little
one
brother.
with the big ears.
the one with big ears. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. So again, apparently I'm a blasphemer. I don't know that one at all.
okay,
So
It's
maybe
not-
a little bit
it's-
of a breakdown.
it's from
Little bit of breakdown?
2004, I think.
Okay.
It's basically for like a synopsis, I guess. Is his daughter is going off there. She's not going to be home for Christmas this year. So they decide instead of giving Christmas presents and doing the whole party and all that, all the Christmas shit that they normally do because they spend so much money on it, to not celebrate Christmas this year and to go on a
wow.
cruise. Like him and his wife just dip out and go on a cruise.
Oh, so no family's coming to the house.
No family,
So
no
they said,
friends, no
"Let's fuck
neighbors,
off."
nothing.
Okay.
And they're just going to dip out and go on the cruise. They're not even giving like cards or anything or buying like giving donations or
Yeah.
anything like that because he's like we're boycotting Christmas this year. And it becomes
Okay.
like the main plot of the movie to the point where like everyone's like, "Were you gonna buy your Christmas calendar from the fire or the police department or some shit like that?" And
All the stuff they normally
all the
do.
stuff they
and people
normally
have-
do, or we're waiting for your donation, or here's your
Yeah.
when you gonna pick up your Christmas tree, or when you gonna put they have a big Frosty that everyone in their neighborhood puts on their roof. So they're like, when you gonna put Frosty up? And they're like, well, we're not doing that. Oh, how about you just let us in the basement and we'll put Frosty up for you? And it gets really like
Jesus.
super hyperbolic, intense, and shit like
Yeah.
that. So it's pretty
because
funny.
because based on what you okay, so here you go. So I'm assuming based on that they live in like a cul-de-sac and like
yeah,
people,
like
they're
a subdivision. Yeah.
so they're like, no, you must do it.
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of
yeah.
us, one of us.
And it's like
type shit.
and with Dan Aykroyd being like one of the antagonists and stuff, it makes it even better. So and then and then eventually like they find out their daughter's coming back home for Christmas. So now they
Oh,
gotta
they haven't
rush.
done everything.
Yeah, they gotta rush to do everything.
Okay, so that's the part I saw in the trailer.
yeah.
Is like the craziness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's cool.
It's a cool build up to that final climax of it, and it gets really cool. So
Okay.
and I
Fun.
think there's a Santa Claus in it for real, but not. I'm not
Like a
sure
real-
because it's like
okay.
confusing. So yeah, they kind of like
Okay,
leave it
so is
off for
this-
you to be like, this is Santa Claus, but this isn't Santa Claus.
So
Is it
this
Santa Claus?
actually-
We don't know if it's Santa Claus. I think it might be Santa Claus.
Is this actually a good movie or is this like one of those movies you're like, I think it's good?
It's
and
a
I just
fun
kinda like
Christmas movie. It's nothing like.
Okay.
It's not like breaking cinematic rules or anything like that. It's just a fun
Well, you know what I mean.
Christmas
like,
movie
you know,
with a solid cast.
do I watch, you know what I mean? Like, if I have 3 movies I can watch that day, do I actually put that on the list or do I go Home Alone You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know.
Could be fun.
I guess it just depends.
I didn't know Jamie Lee Curtis was the wife. That's kind of fun.
You didn't know she was alive?
No, the wife.
Oh, the wife.
The
I
wife.
thought you said alive.
God. Of course I know she's alive. She was just in Knives Out, sadly. I say sadly. I haven't
You
seen
haven't
the
even
film.
watched the movie.
I need to see it. Look, fuck you. I'm being nice, okay? And I've even been nice to tell people that I'm already going into it a little bit sourpuss, but I'm going to be nice.
Okay.
So,
But yeah, that's Christmas with the Cranks. And I enjoy it just because it was a movie that we turned on one year and I didn't think I was going to like it whatsoever.
it just worked.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the last one was Jingle All the Way. I mean, who doesn't love Turbo Man?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
Where's your Turbo Man? Oh, yeah. You can't play with it yet. Ha.
Mine has a turbo pack on it, unlike yours. So
Mine does
suck
too. I just have to take
No,
it
it
off
doesn't.
so he doesn't fit up against the wall.
Yeah, whatever. Lies. Fake news.
All right, let me find it.
Fake news.
I have it somewhere.
Fucking fake news. I love Jingle All the Way, man. I don't know. Curious why, Michael?
It's fun.
I love it.
It's fun.
You're
No,
not wrong. You're not wrong.
it's-
You're not wrong.
It's totally fun. I mean, I watched it as a kid, dude. That was one movie I did watch almost all the time as a kid. Like I had the VHS of it, and we'd watch it every Christmas. I would be the one to push it in the damn VCR and be like, "What's a VCR?"
Yeah, damn it! You beat me to it.
But yeah, and it was one. I think it was like Phil Hartman's last movie, wasn't it?
Right before his tragic demise. Yeah, I think he may have done one more, but I don't know if they ever released it. There was a movie he was working on, and then he was. I'm gonna say it as much as I don't want to. I know it's a Christmas cast, quote unquote. He was tragically murdered by his wife. Was it his wife or ex-wife?
Wife, and then she killed herself when they were in the house.
Yeah, it's a shame. Gone before his time type stuff. He plays smarmy jackass so good.
Oh, he did a few things after Jingle All the Way, actually.
Oh yeah, but just a lot of stuff didn't get promoted because
Small
of,
Soldiers.
Love that film.
And
That's
then
the
a bunch of other
toys,
stuff
right?
was TV shows. Yeah, the Small Soldiers was the toys.
I want to watch Small Soldiers again. That's a great fucking film.
And that came out 2 years after Jingle All the Way.
But anyway, with Jingle All the Way, best actor in the film. Who do you think? Or underrated, maybe. What do you pick?
Sinbad.
Fucking absolutely 100%
has to be.
agree. I absolutely agree. I just Sinbad gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
I think he was kind of the Kevin Hart of his time. Because did you ever see First Kid, where he was like the bodyguard?
The president's bodyguard or
I
president's son's bodyguard.
actually enjoyed that. It felt like
The only
Richie
movie
Rich.
Zachary Ty Bryan really had like a starring role in.
Fuck. Yeah. God damn it. I thought he was fine. He was a great antagonist, quote unquote, for Arnold. And
Yeah.
especially because Arnold's like a box of marbles when it comes to
Just wait till they
delivering dialogue.
remake that with Kevin Hart and The Rock. Boom. Box office gold, but it would suck ass. I guarantee it would suck.
It would really suck. Because you're not having the bomb scene.
Oh gosh, no.
Cammy. I don't even. It's not necessarily a cameo because he's a fucking actor. Do you remember the actor who was the radio host who was giving out the quote unquote Turbo Man tickets where the bomb happens?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay, so since you don't know,
I'm trying to think.
he has this shitty schmarmy ponytail. He's the radio guy who gets Sinbad and Arnold to come to the radio station
right. To get the
coupons.
prize or something, yeah.
Have you ever seen the TV show Roseanne?
Yes.
Do you remember Leon? The
Yeah,
gay-
yeah. The gay. It was like the boss, wasn't it?
Their
at first?
boss for the
Yeah,
the
that's what it
lunch
was, yeah.
meter. He
Yeah.
was the radio station guy.
Okay.
It's fucking great. I love that. They get away with so much in that film, man. Like, I think you're the one who told me the gigantic ass Santa Claus in the underground Santa place. Isn't that a pro wrestler?
Yeah, it's the Big Show.
Is it Big Show or was it
Yeah.
Kevin Nash?
No, that's Big Show. Kevin Nash played Shredder in Terminator or
That's
Ninja Turtles 2.
TM2 too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one you told me. God, you fucking nerd. I love it. Oh, and can we talk about I live in Minnesota. I love we also lived in Iowa for a very, very long time, my family. And because Iowa has shit all to do in there, you pretty much drink and go bowling. That's pretty much what you do in Iowa. Maybe go to a Hawkeye or a Cyclone.
Wow, tell us how you really feel.
It's Iowa is shit, man. Iowa's a great place to live, but it's shit and boring. So kind of like a cool family trip. This is, and get stroke. Let me
Do you smell toast?
let me preface. Let me preface this with this was the 90s.
Preface it. Preface it.
Thank you. This was in the 90s
Yeah.
when Planet Hollywood was a thing. Do you remember some Planet Hollywood?
I've never
good
gone,
shit.
and I lived in Orlando, where Planet Hollywood was.
Wow, you're a bad man.
I know.
You should go. It's essentially
Arnold's restaurant. It's Arnold's
call
and
it
a bunch of different people, but still.
yeah. I call it the Hooters for nerds. No, there's no scantily clad women or anything, but like you go in there and they have props and statues and all kinds of shit from actual movies that like are signed and they go around and it's all cool. And a lot of actors will come and like hang out there and shit. I don't think they're prevalent anymore, but they had a Planet Hollywood in Mall of America. And Mall of America, or in Minnesota, they have the Minneapolis airport is an international hub. We only have like 4 or 5 of those in America. It's like Orlando, California, Minnesota, and I think JFK are like the biggest international ports when it comes to airports. Probably different. I'm sorry, don't quote me on it. But anyway, long story short, we used to go there all the time because since we were Iowa people who had nothing better to do, going to the Mall of America was the thing to do.
I think you're
Man.
losing people, John.
It's fine. The scene with the fucking bouncy balls,
Oh, yeah.
and they end up in Legoland, and like down by the Camp Snoopy area.
Yeah.
Camp Snoopy is now Nickelodeon or something, dude. It was this.
Was that the Mall of
huge-
America? Was that where they
It
shot that at?
absolutely was. It was all shot in Minneapolis.
Okay.
And it blows my mind whenever I go up there. I get so nostalgic for the fucking movie. Where the bouncy balls drop, they're all in Mall of America, and like the slide and stuff that he's going down, it's right by Legoland, or their little Lego place.
Do you
which
go
is
through
right
there
next
and
to
see if
Camp
you can find
Snoopy.
a bouncy ball that they might have lost during production?
I did. I actually did. I'm not lying. No bullshit. I did. And it doesn't exist now. Camp Snoopy is now
Right.
Nickelodeon. Legoland's like been pretty much dissolved up there. They have like a little section, but it's not as cool as it used to be. Fucking film is fucking great, man. Like the idea of like commercialism being a bad thing, the
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
they go through, it's cartoony. It's just
Like
and,
not necessarily needing this thing that you thought you wanted to. Like it gets into a lot of stuff, but everyone just sees it as like what do a lot of people say?
It's
It's
so
like people like
so
look at it
surface
as like, oh, the movie is just showing you that it's okay to be greedy during Christmas time. It's like, no, that's the complete opposite of what that
is the
movie
complete
is
opposite?
showing.
And two, it's like, man, way to fuck off and not show that this character is trying to redeem himself. That's
Right.
That's the entire point of the film, is that he understands that he's a fuck up, and him getting this toy
It's supposed to
is
be
the
like,
way to prove
yeah,
I'm not a fuck up. I tried. And he goes to extensive hyperbolic lengths to get this thing done for his child, for his
Yeah.
fucking kid. Like, who hasn't done that as a parent at some point in their life where they're like, no, this kid wants this. I don't know what he did or what I did, but I got to make up for it. And I got to show up and bring this present.
we say this kid would like this. We don't say want in my house. And you're technically in my house via headphones. So we say, I would like, not want.
Fair enough. But you know what I mean? It's Christmas. So it's a point where it's like you're looking for the toy.
Yeah.
I remember. And the way he watches Turbo Man,
Yeah.
it looks like Power Rangers.
Yeah,
So
it's-
it absolutely resonates with us
Right.
90 kids. And I don't know.
It's like
I the film.
RoboCop fighting the Power Rangers, really.
Sure, why not? But like the film is really, it's so simple and like, and it was neat to see Arnold Schwarzenegger doing something good, like fun.
Yeah, because he's only
That
does
wasn't
like
an
a lot of
action film?
action stuff before then. I don't.
And the other
yeah.
and the other non-action stuff he does is kind of hit and miss. Like Junior, like what a piece of shit. When he was pregnant.
Twins was awesome though.
Twins is good. Twins is a good film.
Yeah.
It's fun. I don't know how good it is, but it's fun.
Which that's another one I could see them doing Kevin Hart and The Rock with in Twins.
Honestly,
Because so this is kind of like in the Jumanji movie, they kind of did it like, no, they kind of did like an iteration of that and like Grumpier Old Men with Kevin Hart and The Rock acting like the two older guys of Danny DeVito
Yeah.
and Danny Glover,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Donald Glover's Childish Gambino. Can we just have a
what?
Jason? What?
What are you talking about?
Donald Glover
Okay, is Childish
is Child Gambino.
Okay, I thought you were like Donald. Or never mind. I'm not
You're
even going
welcome.
to
I
say
was
what I was
validating what you
seeing.
wanted.
But
I was validating you.
yeah,
I
before,
just want a Jason Momoa rock movie defending Hawaii from people.
I gave you a Jason Momoa rock movie. I even put it in Twitter and tagged The Rock, and then he didn't say nothing back because he doesn't want someone else big in his movie. He has to have
I
little
forgot
short
about
guys.
it. What was it?
Aquaman versus Black Adam, bro.
Oh, Black Adam. Yeah. I actually support that.
Instead of
Very-
Black
very
Adam
much.
fighting someone that's just gonna be like him. You know?
Lame and dumb.
What else did
weakest-
Arnold do around there? Dave?
Weakest point of Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake Lloyd, to pile on. You weren't great in Phantom Menace, and man, you were not great in this.
Who's that
He's
one?
he was the child. He was this.
Oh yeah.
He's
Oh yeah,
terrible.
he played Anakin. That's right.
He's a terrible actor. He's terrible. And people are like, oh, I'll be mean to kids. Haley Joel Osment would beg to differ. Appreciate good child actors.
So would the Olsen twins.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
Like,
Oh, they're
fuck
older
off, you-
kids.
They're not that much older.
Actually, the kid in the Santa Claus is actually pretty good, even though it's but he did a good job portraying the character he's supposed to be.
Child actors are usually shit.
Yeah.
So work hard to get a good child actor. 'Cause
Yeah.
they can break your film very quickly.
That's another cool thing I liked about the Santa Claus movies. The same kid that played the kid in the first one plays him throughout all three movies. They brought him back as an older, he looked horrible growing up, but
I would be very interested to know if Jingle All the Way came out after Phantom Menace, which I don't know if it did.
Jingle All the Way.
Um,
Let's find out. I will find
because
out. for you.
Jake Lloyd is awful.
Jingle All the
as the
Way
son.
came out in 1996.
So it came out before Phantom Menace then. So
Apparently, there's a Jingle All the Way 2
what? No.
with Larry the Cable Guy.
Ew.
Larry's
Nobody
daughter
saw
wants
that.
only one thing for Christmas, a talking bear. His daughter's
Vibrator.
stepdad intends to make sure that Larry can't get one. Wow. That is probably what people think the original is.
That's awful. That sounds awful.
Why does it have to be a
Ew.
stepdad? Why does it have to be a dad trying to do something nice for his son and then the stepdad trying to stop the dad from doing something nice for his son? That
Dude,
just makes
I
the
love-
stepdad look like an ass, and then at the end,
Yeah.
the stepdad should not be with the mom anymore.
Exactly.
Like,
I love
what?
the idea of this. I love the idea of the slimy neighbor trying to like
Yeah.
move in.
He
'Cause
kind
that's
of
realistic.
reminded me of freaking Ned Flanders, The Simpsons.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I can
Except he
kinda
was
see
just
that.
like trying to get with the wife
Yeah,
instead of like
yeah.
he was trying to diddle her.
I
Highly
really
diddle
like-
a neighbor.
I really like Jingle All the Way, man. I think it's really really good. And like Arnold like being this weird, like his accent being strange and
And they never
him being
talk
this-
about his accent in any movie he's ever in.
fuck it, just go.
They're just like,
fuck it.
go. He's a normal person. We're not going to say where he's from.
He's like a sales associate. It's like, how do you ever close a deal over the phone?
Yeah.
Nobody could understand you.
Oh, boy.
No, I really like that movie. Like a lot.
I don't think
I think
people
it's a lot of
thought
fun.
he was going to be as big as he is. Because when like he did Conan or Red Sonja or Terminator, the first one, he didn't really talk. So they didn't have to worry about that issue.
I don't know about that. I mean, you said it was 96?
Yeah.
I mean, he's already got
He had a lot of stuff
he
before
had, like
that.
6 solid films. And I mean, he talks a lot in Terminator. I mean,
Not the
granted,
first
he's
one.
suppo-
Not the first one.
Not the first one.
That's
second
what
one.
I'm talking about. I'm like, because Conan, the 2 Conan movies, The Terminator and Red Sonja, were like his first 4 big films. And then he did Commando, Predator, Running Man,
Dude,
and all that
Predator
shit.
and Running Man are good shit. And he talks a lot in both.
Apparently, he was on an episode of Tales from the Crypt. What? I want to see that. I want to see him on Tales from the Crypt.
I absolutely want to see that. You better fucking send me a leak by the end of the day, sir.
The Switch.
I absolutely
Ooh,
fucking want to see
I
that.
kind of want to
please.
see that.
And
And then
okay,
Total
so
Recall, Quaid, when you did the most talking.
I love fucking Total Recall. I love
The reboot or the remake, I dislike
It's a piece
that
of
one.
shit.
They
It's
went
a
more
piece of
based
shit.
on the book with that, and I'm like, no, because the other one was cooler. They actually
Only
went
thing
to
good about-
Mars.
Only thing good about that film is Kate Beckinsale being hot, and the fight scene, the shitty weird CGI camera movement after he wakes up, in John Cho's fucking room, and they like do that cool camera movement
From the remake?
when he shoots a bunch of people. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only cool scene.
I don't remember that movie that well. I just know
Movie's
I
piece of
didn't
shit.
appreciate it when it came out.
Movie's a big bag of sweaty penis. So Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Good shit. Love it. I think it's a great film. Go see it if you haven't. If you
It's
don't
a-
like it, then you don't like fun.
I love the
You don't like
last
to have
scene,
fun.
too. I'm just kind of like, so we're giving people real jetpacks now when they're in the parade? What's up?
Sure, why not? Fuck it.
It's
Okay.
got those moments that
Dude.
just make me laugh, but it also has like the undertone of like everything that's perfect.
At that point, I saw a midget get hit across a room like 30 feet on a straight line. I saw a bomb explode, and the only thing that happened to the policeman is he burned his hands.
Yeah, he burnt his
and-
gloves off or some shit.
Yeah. I go, a lot of dumb shit happens, so they set me up. They set me up for the stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
I love me some Jingle All the Way.
Jingle
So-
all the way. Shut up.
So
dog.
good call. So good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
All right.
What
so
else you got?
That
Gimme,
was my
gimme,
top.
gimme.
That was my top 7 of like everything we watch
God, you
every
had
year.
7.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're only
Okay.
2 in, so we have
Fuck,
to
man.
we have to get knocking some of them out. Because we
Go,
watched
go,
Home
go.
Alone last night. We watched Santa Claus a few days ago.
Anything you're trying to add to the list, or anything that you're like really looking forward to this year?
Nothing I'm looking forward to. That's like
Just
major.
trying to finish them out, just trying to finish out your list.
Yeah, I want to watch Krampus this year finally, but that's one that's
Okay.
not gonna be.
You've never seen Krampus?
No, I have it on Blu-ray, but I've had it for the last 2 years. I can't.
I think you're gonna love it. I honestly think you're gonna love
Yeah.
it. I'm not gonna spoil anything. Maybe tonally, I might.
I've heard it's got a good like it shifts from like kind of like scary to campy funniness and shit, like super fast.
It's just think Christmas Vacation, but dark,
yeah.
like dark horror. It's really fucking amazing for 2 full acts, and then, the third act they get CGI heavy,
Yeah.
and the ending is retarded, and I hate everything.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, kind
I
of like
enjoy
Tusk then, right? Except Tusk
I
didn't use CG; they just went with a rubber suit.
But I like the characters. I like the characters, and I like the film. And this sounds really dumb, but like after a couple of reviews, somebody brings up the sound design. I love it on a technical level.
Yeah.
It's so fucking well done. And then
I remember when it was in theaters, but I just never had a chance to see it. So
let me throw it at you. I'm gonna throw one thing at you, and then when you watch it, let me know what you think. Because I really do think you're gonna enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I would say I'd give it a solid. You should watch it. I don't necessarily care anymore.
right.
But
I mean,
I
once
didn't-
you've seen it, you've made up your mind
Yeah,
if you're gonna watch it or not.
I enjoyed it for the most part. Gingerbread Man, CGI Gingerbread Man.
That's
not
like
gonna
what
tell-
the CG is in this in Krampus.
You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. You're gonna
Okay.
see it happen. Once you see that happen, that is the moment where you see the movie shift.
Which gingerbread man?
It doesn't matter. I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to do anything. When you see a CGI gingerbread man in any context, could be like up on a wall. Could be,
Oh, you mean there's like a CG gingerbread man in the movie?
yes.
I thought you were talking
Somebody-
about the gingerbread man movie.
Somebody somebody could throw a cookie. Somebody could be throwing a cookie at the window. Somebody could be putting on a gingerbread man costume.
That's just when it
When
just
it-
changes up.
When a gingerbread man CGI thing happens, that is when Hannah and I both looked at each other and I go, I'm out. I don't care.
Did you at
I'm
least finish
fucking
it
done.
up, right?
Oh yeah, no, we finished
Okay.
it, and I don't like the ending at all. But everything up until pretty much until the third act, it was a brilliant film. I think it's really, really good, but not for me.
Did it feel rushed at the end then? I mean, I'll know this
No.
as soon as I watch it, but
Yeah. I think they went too much CGI, and I don't know. I feel like the ending got changed.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they knew where they were going, and somebody said no.
We need to
And
make
they
this
fixed
a
it.
little dumber. It's too good.
Or something. It was like, or maybe it was like too dark. We
Right.
need a different ending. or
Remember, this is a
something. I don't know.
Christmas time movie. It has to be stupid somewhere.
Exactly. So, I think you'll really like it.
Yeah.
I do. I don't think it's terrible. I just it set me up for something.
Yeah.
And then it didn't pay off, and
It's-
I got a little pissy about it.
It's one I'll probably, hopefully, I'll get to watch it tonight or something when the kids go to
I
bed.
hope you do. I
So-
really hope you do. Honestly, on a technical level, I think it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Once the CGI comes in, it gets a little shit, but like
You
music and
confused the
way it
shit out of me
sounds.
though when you said Gingerbread Man. I thought you were
Sorry.
literally talking
No,
about the
no, no,
Gingerbread
no, no.
Man movies. I was like,
No.
which Gingerbread Man movie? Because there's like 4 of them, I think,
No.
and those are horrible.
A gingerbread man CGI moment happens.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of like the catalyst for the dumb.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
So-
But no, I'm always looking for something else to watch. But those are my 7 top ones.
Awesome.
That we went over
think
already.
it's
Because like
Not a bad list.
I don't know. There's some adult stuff that I like to watch, but these are the ones these are family. This is everything we always
Yeah.
watch. Because I mean, people call Gremlins Christmas. I think Gremlins is a Christmas-ish movie, but
It's like Die Hard for me.
Yeah.
It's like it's in the tone,
but it's also
good.
It's technically PG, so I can watch that with the kids and
There you go.
be like, it's PG.
It's passable. It's okay.
Like I said,
So, but Gremlins, man, fucking Gremlins is fine. It
Yeah.
would be fine as a Christmas movie. I would.
I watch it any time of the year, so it doesn't really. It's not like I'm pulling it out for Christmas,
Yeah.
unless she asks for it. I mean,
Wait, what? Me too.
but as far as
No,
anything that I've haven't seen yet that's out,
Yeah.
there's nothing I'm really. Like I said, I was looking forward to Black Christmas, and they ruined it for me, just because
I'm
they
telling you, dude.
felt rushed.
I think Klaus is gonna deliver on
Yeah.
Netflix. I think it's gonna deliver.
Yeah, I did. There was another one. Like, what was it?
Was that Vanessa Hudgens thing you watched? The night of Christmas? or
The night before Christmas, but it's night as in like a medieval night. And
something? You watched that?
Nick was like, I want to watch a Hallmark movie. And I didn't want to
No.
watch like an actual Hallmark movie, but I had seen
Yeah.
a trailer for like Netflix's like Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And the other two that were on there that I was going to turn on, I didn't want to watch the second one without watching the first one because they were like direct sequels to each other, and it had the star from iZombie in it, the one chick from iZombie. But so I was like,
Yeah,
we're not-
Rose McIver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was like, we're not gonna watch these. I was like, there's another one, and then I found like the TV show that Netflix did, some Christmas TV show with Quaid, Dennis whatever Quaid, right?
Oh yeah.
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 And she didn't want to watch that, so I was like, fuck it. Here's one. And then I found it. You could tell by the picture it was like Hallmarky. I was like, let's watch this one then. And I watched it. Dude, let me tell you. Like, I mean, it's a Hallmarky movie, so there's not much like to go like, what the fuck on. Because if you know it, you can't go into a Hallmark movie expecting gold. I went into this Hallmark movie expecting shit.
And
And
it still delivered.
I
less than
still
shit.
was laughing my ass off though. The whole movie was it was stupid. But the way that the main lead, the male lead in this movie was delivering his lines, because he's supposed to be a knight from the 1300s.
Yeah.
He was delivering it like fucking comedy gold. I was just like, perfect timing on his behalf and everything. I was like, this is
Like in
fucking
a good way, or
hilarious.
like in a good way or farcical way?
Like he was doing
Like he's
it.
retarded and we're laughing at him?
No,
Or like-
it's like, so because of him being a knight and everything, it's like
Have you ever seen
he was just
Kate and Leopold?
yeah.
Is it kind of like that?
No, I maybe somewhat.
Like he's fish out of water talking like an
Yeah,
asshole and
yeah.
it's funny?
But he's also like learning like slang at the same time.
Okay.
Because he stays up one night and like watches TV and starts learning like words and stuff. And like he has an Alexa in the room and Alexa wouldn't shut the hell up for him. So he put and this was one of the funny things because he talks like he's like in those times. And not like just like the words he says, but like how he says them, how he delivered them.
Yeah.
He's like, I put the Alexa play, because she said Alexa play and then said whatever. So that's what he said. Alexa play this or whatever, And so he said, she comes in the room. She's like, where's the Alexa? And he's like, I put the Alexa play in the outdoor box in the freezer. He's like, she wouldn't shut up, so I punished her. I felt that punishment was according to her crime.
Oh my god.
It just made me laugh like the dumb shit that was in it. And
You're like laughing at it but pseudo with it.
yes, it was
Okay.
It was funny.
Like
Everything else
like
in the thing was just stupid, and then they like
almost
shoehorned
like-
some bullshit into it later.
almost like the movie thought like it knew that it was like vaguely
Kind
retarded.
of,
like
yeah.
like it knew it was stupid.
Yeah. And there was stuff in there like even me and Nikki was like, what the fuck? And she
Yeah.
liked that shit,
But it's fine. It's like
But like
it was silly.
so-
it was fun to laugh at.
they put him in her guest house because she has a guest house. Because
Fair enough.
I don't know why, but her guest house looked so nice. I was like, I was like, damn, I want the fireplace that's in their guest house, because it was like. So, okay, first of all, the guest house structure, interior of it, kind of looked like a castle, too. Like, using stone on the wall and all that shit. So I was like, why does the guest house look like that? And Nick's like, that's their guest house? That's not their guest house. I was like, yeah, that is. It's the guest house. And,
Okay.
but the guest house is completely decorated with Christmas decorations, too. With stockings on that fireplace. I was like, what? Why? And then I don't even think we actually get a scene in the house. It's just in the guest house. So it's like they just had one set and they were like, let's use this. There's stone on the walls. It's kind of reminiscent to his home. And we were also like, what the hell? Because when they were in the 1300s showing the castle, there were like nice glass windows in the castle, like normal glass that we have today. And we're both like, they didn't have glass windows in the 1300s, especially like that. It was so bad. There's so many little things like they could put glazing on the glass to at least make it look older and shit, but it was
All right.
Yeah.
So
you shouldn't have asked me about that thing. It's
that was hysterical.
It's entertaining to watch.
No bullshit. I almost want to watch it to laugh at it now. I want to give it a giggle.
She's not a good actress anymore. Maybe it's just the style of the movie. I know, like when they do Hallmarks. Yeah,
dude, do you really need to bring your A game for something like that? Like, let's be fair. Rose McIver is doing those like princess movies, and it's like, I love her in iZombie, but she's pretty shit in everything else.
Well, they also had Emmanuel Krikiki in it. I don't know.
Sure. Oh, Cherokee?
Cherokee, yeah. She played the like love interest in the Zohan.
You know who I remember as the hot, sexy lesbian bartender from Waiting.
Was she in that?
Yes, she was.
Okay.
And that was my first introduction to her, and she's gorgeous and awesome.
She plays a housewife in this one.
All right, well, we got bad movies, so do I come to my list and either add more bad, or do I tell you what I like?
Oh, apparently she's in Super Troopers too. Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh. Okay, so I lined up with Isaac with Muppets. Muppets is probably my number one. Okay. Muppet Christmas Carol is probably my number one. I love that film. Jingle All the Way might be 2 or 3, which we lined up. Now here comes the weird ones. I do like Die Hard. We do watch Die Hard. It's not one that I feel I need to watch before the end of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy it. We do have this. It's another Muppet. It's Jug Band. Fuck, Mrs. Emmett's Jug Band. Something like that. I cannot remember the title ever. But I also, the one that I really, 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 really like is Nightmare Before Christmas. I enjoy that one.
Yeah.
People make the argument it's a Halloween movie. It's not.
It's a Christmas movie.
Has Christmas in the title. Fuck you.
They only celebrate Halloween once in that movie. They go through Christmas Land the entire rest of the movie.
Exactly. I enjoy that one a lot. Here we go. Emmett Otter's. Oh, goddamn you! Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Okay.
It is a Jim Henson film. It's a little slow. It's a little boring, but I do enjoy it. It's one of those ones that like I almost like push myself through. But I enjoy it. And I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Terry Pratchett, a really renowned author who created this world called Discworld. His writings are not for everyone. They're barely for me.
The name sounds familiar. What is he?
He made this thing. This is the prominent story for me. It's called Hogfather.
Okay.
And essentially what happens is they live on a world with a giant space turtle with 3 elephants that hold the earth on their back.
That sounds so familiar.
That is how insane it is.
That sounds like something I would like watch.
You should watch it. It's but it's BBC, so I will tell everyone it's dry and boring. It's buy the Blu-ray because the DVDs are broken into 2, which sucks. It's a 3-hour long film. Essentially what happens is Hogfather is Santa.
Oh, they did Good Omens. Good Omens is Terry Pratchett.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, that's
exactly.
I knew
yes.
I had seen the name recently.
Yes.
Okay.
But don't tell yourself if you like Good Omens that you'll like Hogfather.
Right.
You might not. BBC is very dry humor. It's very slow. But the concept is awesome. Hogfather is doing all this stuff, and there's this weird committee that wants to kill him because of what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you figure it out. Hogfather disappears, and Death, literal Death, Skeleton Man, decides to take up the mantle because his daughter joins him, and they feel this crusade to keep the Hogfather's myth alive and do what they need to do. 4 reasons. I'll let you figure them out. But the idea of a big skeleton death man trying to be Santa is awesome. There's this scene where he gives a child a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Because he goes, well, that's what she wanted. You know? And so he doesn't quite get it. And his daughter is this really beautiful actress who's dealing with some kids too. And they just go into all this mythological crazy stuff. It's super hyperbolic. It's insane. It's so hard to describe. There's so much insanity. There's this assassin called everybody calls him Tea Time because of the way his name's spelled, but he has to correct everyone. It's Tia Timey. He pretty much goes and assaults the Tooth Fairy. All kinds of shit happens, man. If it doesn't tell you like how insane this kind of story is, you gotta watch it. It's not for everyone. Again, if you got 3 hours and you can trudge through some slow moments, shit's pretty fun. It's fun. It's different. Costumes are great. It's just fun. It's fun. I don't know. Let's see. I got Muppets, Jingle, Hogfather, Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, I don't need to explain Nightmare Before Christmas. Everybody likes Nightmare Before Christmas. This is good shit. Jingle, yeah.
Jingle
honestly, that's pretty much all I got, man. Like, I love Christmas movies. I think they're great. I love the music. And
speaking of music and Christmas movies, you brought up a movie I do want to see for Christmas. It's called Anna and the Apocalypse.
I've heard of this. I don't remember it.
It's a Christmas zombie musical movie.
Okay.
It's I think I saw it. It was on Amazon or Netflix yesterday, but we didn't watch it because we wanted to finish up the show we were watching. So, but yeah, I've heard good things about it, and for a fun, Christmas horror-esque type movie. I mean, zombie musical.
Yeah.
You said musical, and it just popped in my head. I was like, oh
Whoa!
yeah.
Fuck, Elf.
Elf. Yes.
We talked about it for 2 seconds. Elf is something that I watch every year. I think it's wholesome. I think it's good for everyone. I think Will Ferrell does a great job. Zooey Deschanel is wonderful. I mean, the cast is brilliant. The concept is great. It's modern, which is kind of nice. I think that's a really good one. That probably weeds out about my top 5, but I think we're about to get into quote unquote closing statements.
Statements. What the 100%? Fuck was that?
I say, Muppet Christmas Carol is the film that if you haven't seen it, go see it. You will enjoy it. 100%. Even
Yeah.
if you don't like Muppets, even if you do not like Muppets, it's well done. The music is fantastic. Michael Caine is brilliant, and it's just fun. And it's Christmas Carol, so you already know the story. You get to just see a fun retelling.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I had to force anybody to go out of their comfort zone and go see something that's really fun, Muppet Christmas Carol, 100%. It's a great film.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I got. Sounds like Santa Claus is probably yours.
Santa Claus is my top. Just because, I mean, I'm also a Tim Allen fan. Not everyone is. Not everyone can deal with that. And
The premise, though,
the
for
premise
Santa Claus
of the
sounds
Santa Claus is just, for me, it's great. But you also do have like the thing of like, okay, so if Santa Claus is real and these adults don't believe in Santa Claus, where's all these presents coming from? Maybe there's magic that puts that thought in those parents' minds that they bought those presents. We don't know.
why not?
They don't dive into that. But use your brain, people. Just think about it.
Or maybe don't. Either
or
way.
don't think about it.
Or don't.
Stop overthinking
It's a
it.
Christmas movie. Have fun.
Go watch The Night Before Christmas.
Yeah. Vanessa Hudgens. You're great.
Gosh, that movie. I probably will never watch that again. I say
So,
probably because I don't know what I'm going to watch when I'm old and dying.
So I can't wait to give my my review of Klaus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch that.
That's
And,
what you're looking forward to watching, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Fucking absolutely.
Okay.
We have Christmas time. I guess. Do we want to go topical?
Topical.
Really, it's December now. Movies in theaters are pretty much going to be 1917, Jumanji: The Next Level, and Rise of Skywalker. That's pretty much what we got to
Cats.
live on.
I heard Cats is actually
Oh, Cats.
good. Based on the cinematography and the music.
Can I say, you can't go off the merits of the music, which, I mean, I guess you could be changing.
There's some
songs,
original stuff, I think, in it.
but I would argue you're already going to get those
Yeah.
fans there. The aesthetic. It's the only thing that's wrong with it is the faces.
Yeah.
The character design is the only thing wrong with this film. And I'm not going to see it in theaters because I think their character design is retarded and they should have done better. I will see it as soon as it comes out because Hannah's a huge Cats fan.
Yeah.
I like musicals. I very, very much love musicals. I saw what they were going for and they just didn't get it.
Yeah.
They didn't get there. They made a mistake and it sucks.
I think it would have been
but-
better if they would have just done it as people in costumes, like the play is, the stage play.
People
which
in
they've
cost-
done, I think.
My problem was they didn't pick a side. Do you do the people in costumes
Or do you do the cat?
completely CGI their faces?
Yeah.
They put human faces on cats, and that's dumb.
Yeah.
If they would have made their faces look like cats, it'd have been fun.
And they made some cats have boobs.
It was weird. It was- yeah.
human boobs. It's like, no,
Somebody-
there should be nipples on all of those cats that are
Somebody made a joke where you did this fucking dumb shit where it's like it's too weird for normal people and furries can't jerk off to it. Like, you know what I mean? And I go, man, if you're getting comments like that, man, you
Right.
fucked up somewhere. 1917, a war movie during Christmas. As much as I want to see the film, I don't know if I want something heavy during Christmas time.
I think if I see it, I'm going to see it anyways by myself.
I know I'm gonna love it. I think it's gonna be great.
So-
I'm gonna maintain my high hopes. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Jumanji Next Level. It's gonna be better than Rise of Skywalker. And
It's-
really, honestly, I
Jumanji
think
Next
Jumanji's gonna be
Level. Like I really only heard some negative things about that movie before I went and watched it. So I was looking for like what these negative things were that people were saying, which I usually never do. But in watching that movie, it's a good, fun action film. They kind of keep it up with the same tone as the first one, but
I would say based on the trailer, there's
Mm-hmm.
three things you're gonna have to get over. They're gonna over CGI. They can't help themselves. They're stupid. They're gonna go too
It's as
grandiose.
CGI as the first one.
Hmm?
It's as much CG as the first one.
Maybe. I'm going off. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And I'm going off the trailer. Cause the emu or the ostriches or the emus or whatever going through the desert. That's a lot of nonsense.
I mean, it's nothing worse than the fucking hippos from the first one.
Wrong. It was one hippo. I would say they're just gonna do everything dialed up to 11, which is what sequels do.
Yeah,
They can't help
yeah.
themselves. That'll be one of my biggest hangups. Oh man, the reasoning for why they get back into the game is going to be contrived and so forced. Nobody would subject themselves to going back into the game. Nobody. I don't care if you're sad or whatever. You die in the game, you die in real life. Doesn't matter. That's horseshit. So whatever they do to force themselves back in, and based on the trailer, they're so whimsical about being sucked in again. If you watch the first one, that is a horrifying experience.
Yeah.
And even in the remake, it's like, what is happening? This one, they know what's going to happen and they're okay with it. I don't like that. That seems strange. And the third thing is just, again, they're just, I'm going to double up on too big, too much.
Yeah.
They're going to add all the things that were funny about the first one. They're going to overdo it, and it's not going to be funny anymore.
It's a good family movie, though, for the holiday.
But I think it's going to be fine.
As far as, like, Christmas time and shit, go ahead, go see that. It's going to be better than Skywalker.
Let me put it out this way. My argument was Last Jedi is a piece of shit, which dismantled Star Wars. Mm-hmm. That was the sequel. I'm going to argue that Jumanji, the last one, was a sequel. As much as you don't want to call it, it was a sequel to the original.
They reference dude in Jumanji.
Exactly. But they do a good job.
Yeah.
And I think they did fine.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect? Do I think it's as good as the first one? No. They actually did a good job.
Because that's where the one character's hiding out, right? In Alan's place?
Sure.
I think.
Sure. My issue is Last Jedi is a big fuck you to the fans, and Jumanji tried. Mm-hmm. So you earned my respect to come to the sequel, regardless of what you do.
Right.
Last Jedi says, go fuck you. The only reason why people are going to see this is either because they're being paid to go see it, or people want to go make fun of it. Or people go, it says Star Wars, it's Christmas. Real fans are not going to this shit to watch it unironically. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at.
Except for, you got the people that just don't really, they don't pay attention to all the
but that's what I'm talking
politics
about.
of it and all that stuff.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
People who will just show up no matter what.
Yeah.
They got a ticket, they got a freebie, or they're bored, or it's like, I don't give a fuck about Jumanji. I don't give a shit about this. I don't want to watch a war movie. I don't want to watch Frozen 2. But I'm sorry, for once in my life, I'm telling you, Jumanji sequel, strong. 1917, critically acclaimed. Frozen 2, still out.
I hope Jumanji can keep up the audience going in. That way they don't get pushed to the wayside for more screens to open up for Skywalker and Frozen. Because right now in my theater, Frozen is still like in so many screens, and it's ridiculous.
Disney's banking on Frozen 2. I'm telling you right now, and I've been saying it almost 6 months ago. I got podcasts to prove it. I think Rise of Skywalker is gonna fucking bail. I think it's gonna bomb.
Yeah.
I think it's bad. I think it's terrible. I know the leaks.
Yeah.
I've read the leaks extensively. It's an awful
premise,
awful thing. And Star Wars is dead. I think Mandalorian can maybe help, but man, I fell off on that show. They did a lot of dumb shit. I think they rushed the season out.
I feel that a lot of them are doing that.
What I'm banking on is that this is gonna Rise of Skywalker is gonna tank. You're gonna have enough people caring about Mandalorian, and they're gonna put all their money on that. They're gonna write better for next year. So season 1's pretty lackluster. I think there's 3 good episodes out of 7. They'll rewrite it and it'll be fine next year. I think they're gonna put all their stock there.
What are
If
they?
you want to,
What are they doing next year? Like the second season?
do you
You
mean?
mean?
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
And Mandalorian's doing good enough, and Disney Plus is their platform.
I'm still not buying in until I see something decent from Marvel from them. Because Marvel is really the only franchise that I actually watch of their shit anymore.
Honestly, mine's Simpsons.
Simpsons, yeah.
I watch old Simpsons shit. Dude,
Well, yeah, I
that
mean,
show's
like,
so
I'm
fucking
talking about,
good.
like, new content, not,
yeah,
like...
reason to get you to buy it.
Yeah.
I bought it because I just watched Simpsons. I love
Yeah.
Simpsons.
Which
I
they
love
started
it. I
taking
love
shit
it
off
so
of
much.
Hulu. I was in the middle of watching stuff
Yeah.
on Hulu, and they take it off and put
Fuck
it on
Hulu.
there.
Fuck Hulu.
It's like, come on, man.
Fuck Hulu. But for Christmas, I gotta say, go watch Muppets. Go
Yeah.
watch Jingle All the Way for fun.
Go watch Jingle
And
all the way.
and I want to hear what everybody has to say about Klaus.
Yes,
So,
in
that's
the
where I'm
comments. Don't forget, people, to like us on here, this SoundCloud, or subscribe
Or like-
on...
Or like Mike and
all
leave a
these
dirty
iTunes
comment
shit.
about me because
Yeah, go ahead, do that too.
I am the baddest of bald men.
Have a good Christmas. Give us some Christmas joy by giving us some
Yeah.
comments and shit, people. We need this stuff to make ourselves
Merry-
feel better.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals!
Happy New
Don't
Year.
you have
No.
a quote? You
Oh,
better have.
I
you
got
better
a
have
quote.
a fucking quote for me.
Two
You
quotes.
better have a quote
Technically,
for
it's
me.
2 quotes. But
Bring it!
We're going to put it together as one quote. Merry Christmas, everybody. Quote from Howard Langston from Jingle All the Way. I am not a pervert. I was just looking for a Turbo Man doll. It's Turbo time!
Ta-ta, Turtle Man. Later, nerds.
Bum bum.
You just finished another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch every episode of Operation Babble on all your audio streaming services, including SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, and more. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Operation Babble. And join the conversation today by searching for the Operation Babble group on Facebook. Links also in the description. Don't forget to find Myke on all social platforms, including YouTube, by searching Myke Shrews, MYKESHREWS. You can find John on Instagram and YouTube via Bald Man Bad. Thanks and have a great day.